is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Kinsler.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
Yesterday at Comerica Park, we came oh so close. Matt Boyd lost a no-hitter with 2 outs in the 9th inning on a Tim Anderson double to the gap in right center field. But in the end, Matt Boyd a complete game, 1-hit shutout, and the Tigers will try and build on that here this evening. Welcome to Comerica Park, Game 1 in the series featuring the Detroit Tigers and the visiting Oakland Athletics. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba alongside Rod Allen. We are glad to have you with us here for Game 1 in the series. And certainly, Rod, the story yesterday had to be Matthew Boyd. He came really close, but a great performance nonetheless.
Well, he was on point yesterday. We talked about Matthew Boyd at the beginning of our show yesterday, and we said against that White Sox team he would have to pitch the game of his life. And boy, did he pitch the game of his life. Nearly a no-hitter. Only Tim Anderson broke it up with 2 outs in the 9th inning, but Matthew should have felt good about what he accomplished yesterday.
And the Tigers should feel good about their offense right now. They had 12 runs in the ballgame yesterday, but really, when you break down the lineup, the top 3 in the lineup were awfully good.
Well, I don't know about you, partner, but for me, for the first time in a long, long time, the top 3 guys in the lineup worked efficiently, and it started with Ian Kinsler. I mean, Ian Kinsler led off with a single. He stole second base. He was stealing third base when Candelario drove him in with a base hit the opposite way. But between he, Candelario, and Castellanos, they were 7 for 12. They stole bases, they scored runs, and they drove in a bunch of runs. And they kind of set the tone for the Tigers' offense yesterday, and that allowed Matthew Boyd to just kind of settle in and do what he did yesterday. He was spectacular, but the offense kind of carried the day, and the offense kind of got lost in all that Matthew Boyd did yesterday, but we're showing him a little love right now.
All right, yeah, Game 1 in the series just minutes away. After a short break, we'll be sending you to the Call Sam Studios, checking in with John Keating. Coming up tonight, the A's have some young power in their lineup. We'll see if the Tigers can slow them down. Tigers-A's Game 1 coming up next. once, but that was forever ago. In May of 2016, he threw an inning and a third of hitless relief against them. Terrell Cotton was to be the starter for the A's, but he looked to be an obvious discomfort warming up tonight, and the A's have made a late switch. That young man, Raul Alcantara, will start for Oakland, his second start of the year. John Kidding, quick pop back here into the Call Sam studio with game time just around the corner. It is now officially the final week of home baseball this season in Detroit. 3 against the A's and then 4 against the Minnesota Twins to wrap up the home schedule. Nicholas Castellanos looks to continue his torrid play of late. He's trying to extend a 14-game hitting streak during which he has hit .407 with 4 home runs. And if Castellanos and the rest of the Tigers combined for 3 or more bombs in tonight's game, you can bring in a copy of the box score to participating Arby's location tomorrow, and you'll receive a free small order of curly fries. On Greek Heritage Night in downtown Detroit, Tigers baseball is brought to you by Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849, and by Ram Trucks. Go ahead, test our strength now during Ram Power Days. Gorgeous night for baseball, a little bit cloudy and overcast, but we will have baseball nonetheless. The A's in town, and they're facing Buck Farmer tonight. Presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
And tough assignment for Buck Farmer 5 days ago against the Cleveland Indians. Lasted just 4 innings, gave up 4 earned runs in that particular game. However, tonight I think he might get some swings and misses. Oakland hits a lot of home runs. They also strike out a lot, and every now and then Buck has a pretty good swing and miss pitch.
So we are ready for baseball here this evening as Marcus Semien leads it off. The Tigers have not seen the A's in quite a while. They met them in Oakland. That was back in early May. Here's the first pitch of tonight's ball game. It's a ball low to Marcus Semien.
Yeah, when the Tigers saw the Athletics back in May, Semien was on the disabled list, nursing a broken wrist.
Back in the lineup these days now, the shortstop for the A's. And Buck throws a strike in the outside corner, 1-1. This year, 248, 6 home runs. Had a big year last year in terms of power. And Semien takes one low and away, 2-1 the count.
Yeah, nice fastball count here early for Semien. Semien has really good bat speed, good fastball hitter, as you would expect most guys in the big leagues when you get them in a 2-1 count. Now, they like to hunt the fastballs and usually get a pretty good swing at them.
Bouncer up the middle, and it's going to find a hole. A base hit. Semien is on with a leadoff single. Here's the rest of the Athletics lineup tonight, presented by your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. And for the A's, you saw Semien. Joyce and Lowry will follow. They've got Chris Davis, massive power, batting cleanup. Matt Olson and Ryan Healy, and a bottom three of Pinder, Chapman, and Maxwell. Some young guys and some young power in this lineup for the A's.
The A's have hit 60 homers this year, and their rookies have, which are most in the majors, so that speaks to your point. They're young, and they've got a lot of power.
Here's a veteran that has shown some power this year, Matt Joyce, the former Tiger, with 24 home runs.
Wow, what a bounce-back year for Matt.
It really has been. Joyce always had that smooth left-handed swing when he came up in the Tiger system. He got here for 1 year before the Tigers dealt him to the Tampa Bay Rays.
He's had stops in Pittsburgh. Now he's made a stop in Oakland.
1 ball and no strikes on Joyce. And a ball missing outside. 2-0 now on Joyce.
Well, Buck has fallen behind both of the hitters that he has faced so far here tonight. And I'll give you some numbers on Buck and the importance of getting ahead. And when he falls behind 1-0, the batting average is over 300 against Farmer. When he gets that first strike over, the batting average is right at 200. So we're talking about 126-point differential in throwing strike one and ball one.
That ball popped up. Shallow center field. Iglesias back. And he is called off by the left fielder, Matuk.
Let's take a peek at the Tigers starting defense. You know that Mikey Matuk is in left field, Jones in center. Castellanos has been out there for 10 straight days. That would be right field. Candelario, Iglesias, Kinsler, Navarro round out the infield, and James McCann back behind the dish today after Brian Holiday caught a marvelous game yesterday, nearly a no-hitter thrown by Matthew Boyd.
Boy, did he. Holiday was great in leading Boyd yesterday. And a fun day at the ballpark. Chet Lowry's having himself a year. 276 this year, 13 homers. And he looks at a strike, 0-1.
Chet has always been able to hit. I mean, he gives you a quality plate appearance from both sides of the dish. He doesn't leave the strike zone very often. His bat-to-ball skills are really good. He's got 45 doubles.
Which is second in the big leagues. Only to Ramirez of Cleveland. Would not have guessed that. 0-1 the count on Lowry. Semien at first base with 11 steals this year. And he's been caught only once. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss.
Good fastball there by Buck at 93. See, that's the difference in getting ahead with the strike one. All of a sudden, as a hitter, you don't know exactly what you're going to get. It could be a breaking ball, could be a changeup, and that's when you can get 93-mile-per-hour fastball by a good hitter like Lowry.
Oh, 2 now on Lowry, and another toss to first base. Tigers opening up a 3-game set here against the A's, and then Minnie comes to town to wrap up the final homestand. And there is Matthew Boyd, who was the man of the hour yesterday. And even though he lost the no-hitter, man, he was just so excited about his effort. I'm sure he was somewhat disappointed. close play down there at first. But as Matthew said after the game yesterday, I'll take a one-hit shutout any day.
And the one thing that I admired about Matthew, one, he did not question the pitch that he threw to Tim Anderson. I absolutely thought it was the best pitch to throw. Anderson was just on that pitch. He also gave his defense a lot of props.
And Matthew will join us via headset in the Tigers bench in the top of the third, so we'll actually be able to talk to him and get his thoughts about yesterday's near no-hitter. Boy, the Tigers have had a lot of close calls. Verlander a couple of times in the ninth. Of course, the Galarraga, what should have been perfect game.
Yeah, sitting next to his battery mate yesterday, Doc Holliday. They're still all smiles. Farmer has a really good changeup, and I mean a good changeup. He'll throw that changeup to the lefties and to the righties. Might not be a bad spot for it, but you better get it down. We've told you that Lowry doesn't strike out very often, although this year he has struck out more than he ever has. But the A's team, they've set a team record already in strikeouts with, what, 2 weeks to go?
They do. It's amazing. And the Athletics have struck out almost 1,400 times this year. That'll miss inside. Back him out of there, 2-2. Here's the umpiring crew tonight. You got big Chris Conroy behind the dish. He is joined by Blackney, Meals, and Culpa. Meals is the crew chief at second. Two and two on Jed Lowry. 1-on-1 out, just underway here at the ballpark. Fouled off the mask, and that sent McCann sprawling back a little bit.
Yeah, that buckled James just a little bit. Chris Conroy going to give McCann a little time.
Bob Melvin's 7th year as the A's manager. Just under 500 for his career.
Third managerial stop for Bob Melvin. He also managed the Seattle Mariners and the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Two and two. Outside, ball 3. Jed Lowry.
You would think that Semien will be on the move here on the 3-2 pitch to Jed Lowry.
Farmer allowed the leadoff single, then he got the fly ball from Joyce. Runner goes, and it's slapped foul out of play.
This is what Lowry does. He just turns in quality at bat after quality at bat from both sides. And Farmer has thrown several really good pitchers' pitches, but Lowry's been able to get a piece of them. Next pitch will be number 9 to Jed. Little guy's already got 2 foul balls. It's going to be a good night for them.
Oh, you're not kidding. There's only 1 out in the game, and he's got 2 balls already. It's a big haul early on in this one. Again, the 3-2 with the runner going, and another foul back out of play.
And Semien getting his sprints in here in the first inning.
Tarp was on the field before the game. There was some rain that came through the area. It is very overcast here at the ballpark tonight, but they say no rain in the immediate future. So we should have no trouble getting this one in. Now Farmer again with the 3-2. Runner goes, and a drive in the air toward left center field. Jones on the run, still going, diving, can't get it. It'll drop in. Here comes Semien to third. They're going to wave him home. And the throw to the plate is not in time. Sliding in safely with the first run of the game is Marcus Semien. Jacoby Jones nearly stretched out and got that. Lowry gets his 57th RBI.
Pretty good at bat by Lowry. Really good at bat by Lowry. And Jones ran a long way to get there. He left his feet. The ball kind of scooted away from him by the time Mikey Montauk picked it up. Marcus Semien, who was on first base, he was running on the 3-2 pitch. He was able to score without a play at home plate. That is now 46 doubles for Jed Lowry, a new career high.
And just 4 shy now of the league lead in that category. Swing and a miss by Chris Davis.
Chris Davis has got a lot of pop. 39 homers. He has driven over 100 for the 2nd consecutive year. But with all that power, he does swing and miss.
They should be calling this Chris Davis Crush Davis, not the one in Baltimore.
That's right.
I mean, this one has hit a lot of home runs the last 2 years. There's a line drive, base hit to left. Lowry had to watch it through, so he will stay at third base, and a single for Davis. 2 on now with 1 out.
You know what, Mario? Jim Leland is here today. I saw him earlier in the clubhouse, and Jim used to say it's not who you play, but it's when you play them. The Tigers caught the White Sox on fire for a couple of those days, and this Oakland Athletics team in the month of September, they've been swinging them sticks too. So Tigers are going to have to make some good pitches here tonight if they're not going to get embarrassed.
Skipper tell you any good jokes today?
No, I didn't catch up with him today, Mutt.
He told me a few, but I can't repeat them.
You can't repeat them?
Which is normally the case. There's the Skipper. He was inducted into the Michigan Sports Hall of Fame the last couple of days, so congrats to Jim Leland.
Sure, Jim is in town to help Al Avila evaluate the club the final couple of weeks of the season, give his input on things that he might see, things that he might change. I think Al has all of his people watch the club, all of his chief lieutenants the last week of the season.
Here is Matt Olson. He'll foul that one back out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike.
This young man right here has got some power. 21 homers already for Olson, and he hasn't been in the big leagues that long. He's homered in 3 straight games.
Yeah, one of the good young hitters we've talked about in their lineup that possesses power. Big swing there, right through it. Olson is only 23 years old. Born in Atlanta. So you got Olson, who was born in Atlanta, and you got Buck Farmer, who went to Georgia Tech, located in Atlanta. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. He threw it by him. Olson is out of there. First strike out of the game for Buck.
Back-to-back 93-mile-per-hour four-seam fastballs, the last of which right past their first baseman, Olson. We'll watch and see if that's where they want to pitch Olson, because he really had no chance at those fastballs that were just a tick above the belt buckle.
Here's Ryan Healy. Strike 1 on Healy.
Yeah, Ryan Healy, another one of the Oakland Athletics hitters that have been hot. Last 28 games, his batting average right around .330. He's got a lot of power.
A lot of his power, though, was exhibited in the first half. 19 of his 25 home runs were hit before the All-Star break. But as he mentioned, the A's team, man, they will hit some homers. They don't play defense particularly well. They strike out a lot, as you mentioned. 0-1 on Healy. Foul back out of play, and the count now is 0-2.
There was a time years ago where the A's had the nickname the Swinging A's. And they might as well dust that off again, partner. Because they are swinging.
That's the old Charlie Finley days back in the 70s.
Yeah, swinging A's.
0-2 on Healy. 25 home runs this year. Outside, wouldn't chase. 1-2.
Stressful first inning for Buck Farmer. He has thrown 26 pitches, although most of the pitches that he has thrown have been strikes. That is a good sign.
RBI double by Lowry, giving the A's an early lead here. And again, would not chase, and down to second goes Davis on a ball that got away from McCann. Second and third now with 2 outs. Wild pitch advancing the runner. Now he's gone from 0-2 to 2-2. Farmer's last start came against the Indians. He went 4 innings, 4 hits, 4 runs, but he struck out 7 Cleveland batters in that game. Swing and a miss. Down he goes. 2 strikeouts for Farmer. The A's get a run. As we go to the bottom of the first here at Comerica Park, starting lineup for the Tigers, presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. It'll be Kinsler at the top as per usual. Candelario and Cabrera, then Castellanos batting cleanup. Long hitting streak going for Nick. Navarro and McCann. You've got Matuk in left, Jones in center, Iglesias the shortstop. Jarrell Cotton not starting tonight. A sore groin. He was the late scratch. Instead, it's Raul Alcantara.
Alcantara throws a lot of fastballs, 53% four-seamers. He also likes his cutter as well. He doesn't really throw a slider or a curve very often, but he throws his changeup about 21% of the time. So we'll watch for that. Pretty much four-seamers, cutters, and a good changeup.
So Alcantara, who is 24 years of age, gets the call tonight. The emergency start, and he throws strike one to Kinsler.
Last year, he went 9-6 combined in Double-A and Triple-A in 25 starts with a 3.58. So starting not foreign to Alcantara.
You wonder, though, how a guy who came to the ballpark not expecting or nearly expecting to start this game will respond here.
A lot of times it works in the favor of guys that really don't have to spend the entire night deciding how they're going to pitch to certain guys in the opposing team's lineup. I mean, he pretty much didn't even have time to get the scouting report on the Tigers hitter. So he's really going to have to follow the leadership here today of the catcher Maxwell, who had compiled a scouting report with Cotton, who was supposed to start today.
Yeah, Cotton was actually warming up in the bullpen before the game and then just couldn't go with the groin strain.
Ian Kinsler had a good day yesterday. He was on base pretty much all afternoon long. He was scoring runs. He was stealing bases. He was getting hits too.
$18 homers this year for Kinsler. He's knocked in 44. Bouncing ball to third. It's a foul ball.
Alcantara already up to 96 with that fastball.
Kinsler yesterday, as Rod mentioned, a big day. 2 singles, a walk, a couple of runs scored. He also stole a bag. Missed outside, 1-2. Cloudy night here at the ballpark, but no rain right now. That's the good news. Here's the 1-2. Checked it outside. 2-2 on Ian.
Pretty good take there by Ian. Yeah, that slider didn't miss by very much. Nice tight slider there thrown by Alcantara.
Whistle to left field, foul. Kinsler 4 hits in the series that started this homestand with Chicago. Candelario waiting on deck, and boy, is he been hot. And he got him, strike 3, right in the outside corner.
You can't locate a fastball any better than Alcantara located this one. 97 on the black outside. Nice job with the glove by the catcher Maxwell. Let's take a look at the OE starting defense, brought to you by Tim Hortons. Davis, Pender, Joyce in the outfield. Chapman, Simeon, Lowry, Olsen in the infield, and Maxwell is the starting catcher here tonight for the Oakland Athletics.
Candelario batting .377 as a Tiger looks at ball 1.
That fastball that Alcantara is featuring, the velocity 95 to 97, but it's not a straight fastball. It's got some late tailing action in on the righties and away from the left-handers. A little swing back action.
At 96. Don't know exactly how much they'll be able to get out of Alcantara tonight in the emergency start, but he's coming out throwing hard. Lifted toward left and slicing. On the run is Davis, still coming, and he can't get there. 1 row deep. The one thing we've noticed about Candelario is the fact that he is not afraid to take a walk. I mean, he's got 10 of them this month. On base percentage is high. And he has shown more than just gap power recently with a home run yesterday that went to one of the deepest parts of the ballpark in right center.
Looks like he has a really nice idea in that batter's box. First 3 pitches away. Then he comes inside with a fastball to knock him off the plate.
Candelario was 6 for 12 in the series versus Chicago, and that girl's night is made. The foul ball. Swing and a miss, and the candy is out of there. 2 gone. A couple of strikeouts for the right-hander Alcantara.
97 he's gotten to with his fastball, and take a look at this changeup. Pretty much a straight change. What a pitch. I mean, that looked like a fastball coming out of his hand, and you have to respect 97. And that's a 12-mile-per-hour differential between the changeup and the fastball. But you're seeing the same spin on the baseball.
Cabrera looks at ball 1.
One day you read that Miggy's going to get shut down for the rest of the year, and then you come to the ballpark and he's in the starting lineup.
The 1-0 pitch is popped up right field, and it's going to be Joyce camping under it, and the Tigers go 1-2-3 in the first. Second here at the ballpark. Stay tuned to Tigers Live. Following the game, we'll select the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers Player of the Game, presented by McDonald's. Stop by for your breakfast favorites, now being served all day. Buck Farmer back to the hill as Chad Pinder leads it off for the Athletics. It'll be Pinder, Chapman, Maxwell, bottom three for Mr. Melvin. 236 for Pinder, 15 homers. 2-0. A's got a run in the first on the RBI double by Jed Lowry. Pinder pops it up. Right field. It's Castellanos coming over into foul ground. And he hangs on. One gone. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
And Nicholas appears to be getting more and more comfortable with his new position with each day that he plays out there. It's now been 10 consecutive days that Nicholas has played in right field.
Here's Chapman. He'll spin one up there for a strike. 0-1. Do you think it's easier at either of the corner outfield positions? Is one easier than the other, say right over left or left over right?
I think right field might be a little bit easier to play. I mean, off the bats of right-handers, and there's a lot of right-handers in the big leagues, you usually get a little bit of a slice, but not nearly as much slice.
Grounded to third for Candelario. 2 gone.
As you get off the left-handers' bats when you're playing left field, and I think that's why they decided that they would put him in right field versus left field. Nicholas also said that he prefers playing right field versus left field, for there's some comfort out there for Nicholas as well.
2 up, 2 down. Here is Bruce Maxwell, the number 9 hitter. The fielding numbers on Castellanos early on. He's got a couple more weeks of action out there, and then of course the offseason, spring training. We'll see how things shake out next year in the Tigers outfield. They're hoping that Nick can certainly play well enough out there to, you know, they're going to find a way to keep his bat in the lineup, to be sure.
And judging by what he did last offseason and working out, getting himself in really good shape, I would bet that he'd come to spring training in tip-top shape and work on his agility and athleticism, which would allow him to move a little bit better in the outfield. He's had a whale of a year offensively. He might have an outside chance of getting 100 RBIs.
Ground ball. Second baseman Kinsler, and Farmer a really good snappy second.
In center field in the shadow of Al Kaline with a Ram game break to tell you about what we have planned for you tomorrow night. It is another one of our Fox Sports Detroit theme nights, and we're going to be talking about the memorabilia that we all collected, most of us around the broadcast, or what the players collected, baseball cards, and then some. And of course, the biggest chunks of memorabilia here at Comerica Park are the 6 statues of Tiger greats, Tiger immortals that are out here in center field. We're very much looking forward to what we have planned for you tomorrow night. Mario, Rod, what are your pieces of memorabilia you're most proud of?
Boy, there are a few. Rod and I were talking about this yesterday. I'm not a real huge collector, but there are several things that I really feel are my favorites, and one would be the autographed Justin Verlander no-hitter. His first no-hitter, the autographed score sheet. So that's probably my top. What do you got, Rod?
For me, probably the 84 ball that's signed by all the members that were on that team. That was obviously a very special year, World Series championship, and I have a ball with everybody's signature on it.
Keats, what about you? What's number one in your collection?
I'm old enough to have a 1968 ball that my uncle helped, I guess, lean on Ernie Harwell to get for me, and I carried it with me to all of my broadcasting stops. I'll tell this story tomorrow. It's hard to tell any of the names on that ball because of what transpired at all of those broadcast stops, and I've got a couple of stories involving our beagle named Dave, who chewed up some pieces of prime memorabilia back in the day as well.
I love the dog name of Dave for the beagle.
We had Dave and we had Ed. Those were our 2 dogs back in the day.
Now, are there any meanings to the names Dave and Ed?
None.
Okay, just arbitrary.
Right.
All right, John, thanks. We'll look forward to that broadcast tomorrow. That'll be fun. Here is Efren Navarro now with 1 gone, and he takes ball 1 low. Memorabilia, I think, is such a big part of the game. I mean, there are some that take it very seriously and have just mounds and mounds of stuff.
No doubt. A lot of collectors in every city we go to.
Alcantara's 1-0, and it's swung on and missed 1-1.
The amazing thing is every now and then we will have like a 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. arrival, and there are literally people outside looking to get things signed at that particular time in the morning.
Yeah, they know the team schedule. They know when they're going to arrive, at what hotel they will be arriving at, and they're there.
Lined up for Mario and Pimba's autograph at 3 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, I slide by with no problem at all, believe me. Who's that guy? 2-1. And Navarro fouls it back. 2-2 now on Efren.
Alcantara looks good. Fastball 93 to 97 with movement. He's thrown a couple of outstanding changeups. He's hung a couple of breaking balls, and he's also thrown some good breaking balls with some good depth. And making an emergency start here tonight.
He had walked 7 and struck out 3 coming into this start here this evening, and there's a base hit to right field.
Nice job. Nice hand work there by Navarro, pulling his hands in close to his body to get to that 96 and find that seam on the right side of the infield. Watch him pull his hands inside.
It'll bring up McCann now. James, good series against the White Sox. 4 out of 10, is hitting .325 over his last 47 games.
James had the afternoon off yesterday, so he had a chance to watch Matthew Boyd almost make history with a no-hitter. That would have been the first no-hitter thrown by a left-hander in Tigers history. I did not know that.
I saw that. Hammered to right field, but straight at Joyce. And there are 2 gone. That'll bring up Mikey Matuk. Mikey enjoying a 6-game hitting streak.
Mikey had a really good series against the Chicago White Sox. He had a game winner. He had an epic 14 pitch at bat, I should say, with a triple that drove in a couple. And he homered as well, so he had a nice series.
He brings an energy and a spirit to a ball game that I don't think can be duplicated. And when he had the walk-off hit against Chicago,
he's got that football mentality.
He spiked his helmet.
He had flashbacks, I think, of his football days.
1-0 on Matuk. Mikey's 12 home runs, a career high. He's going to continue to add to that the last couple of weeks. Alcantara's 1-0. 2-0. Coming into this emergency start today, Alcantara had given up 17 runs in 11 innings. And that made his ERA over 12. But his stuff has looked really good in this game so far. Driven to right field. Joyce on the move. Still going back to the warning track to haul it in and retire the side. When we come back, we'll talk to yesterday's hero. Matt Boyd joins us on the broadcast. One nothing as we go to the top of the third at the ballpark. Oakland got a run in the first on a single by Semien and a one-out double by Jed Lowry. And it's Marcus Semien leading things off here in the third, and Farmer delivers a strike.
Notice Buck last half inning. Yeah, started a couple of the Athletics off with off-speed pitches for strikes. That was a good breaking ball there to get a strike hit on Semien.
0-2. Buck had a 28-pitch first inning, but then really got his pitch count back in order with a 1-2-3 second.
Only 9 pitches in the second.
Up and in, 1-2. Just a little bit outside. Farmer has been one of those guys, Rod, this year that has really been able to rack up a few strikeouts. He had 11 in his first start against Chicago, and this would seem to be one of those matchups where he might be able to get a few. And the way that he would get them against this team, he's not going to be able to overpower them with fastballs because it's a good fastball hitting team. But teams that swing and miss, like the Oakland Athletics do, you show them the fastball, then you go to your secondary pitches, and that's how you get the strikeouts. Oh, look out, up and in, and Semien hit by the pitch.
Buck got ahead of Semien 0-2 and then worked the count back to full before allowing this fastball to get away from him. I'm not even sure whether it was a fastball or not. He really dropped down to a low 3/4 arm slot. And because of that, that's going to get Brad out of the dugout.
Farmer is going to be tended to now. Doug Teeter running out to the mound to see if he's all right.
I could tell there was something about that last pitch that he threw. The arm slot dropped all the way down, Mario, to a low 3/4 arm slot.
I think he's trying to talk his way into staying in this game.
That's Brad Ausmus out there with Doug Teeter, one of the Tigers' athletic trainers. Here's that last pitch. Look at this angle that he drops down to. And he pointed toward his shoulder. McCann noticed something.
That is the reaction right there that brought Brad out along with Doug Teeter. And so Farmer apparently will stay in the game. Hit batter leads things on. And now Matt Joyce will check in. Now Joyce standing in. We had hoped to have Matt Boyd here in the top of the third. We are told it'll be the bottom of the third, so hang tight with us. We'll have Matt Boyd on headset when we go to the bottom of the third.
And Boyd needs to pay a little bit more attention to Semien on first base. Looked like to me Semien trying to...
Farmer, you mean?
Farmer, excuse me. And Semien looking like he wants to try to steal a bag here. He's already stolen 11 this season. He's got a big jump, big lead.
Line drive to right, base hit. Semien rounding the bag, going to third. And now runners at first and third, nobody out. Joyce with a single to right.
This ball hit extremely hard off the bat of Joyce. Most times guys won't go to right field, to third base on a ball that's hit this hard, especially if you're not running on the play. But look at Semien kind of slow down. Looked like he's kind of Deke Nicholas, who's new at playing right field before he went to third. That ball got to Nicholas on one hop, I thought.
That's exactly what it looked like he was deking him. And then he just turned on the jets. So nobody out.
Lowry had a great at-bat his first time up.
It resulted in a double to drive in a run. Lowry down with 57 RBIs and 46 doubles this year. One. There's action already in the Tigers pen. Artie Lewicki starting to warm up. Lowry well traveled. He has been with Oakland, Boston, Houston.
Lowry's been with the teams that are heavy in analytics. He has been the poster child for analytics the last number of years.
Jacoby cruising over on this one. Semien tags. He will score. It'll be a sac fly for Lowry, and that's his second RBI tonight.
I think he's had 2 stints with Houston, a couple of stints with Oakland as well, and Boston. All 3 of those teams real heavy in the numbers.
Yeah, good point. And he's having himself one of his better years. His second RBI tonight. One gone, and that'll bring up Chris Davis.
I've been talking to a lot of scouts lately, Mario, that they believe that there are only so many numbers that you can spin in baseball. And every single front office basically has the same data, the same literature. You basically have the same thing. Everybody has the same thing. And there are a lot of scouts that believe that it's going to get to a point where it's going to go back to the scouts. They're really going to start to rely on the eye again and not so much the numbers. There are already some teams that are backing off all the numbers as we speak.
Well, I think when the numbers and the advanced metrics and analytics became really as popular as they have been now, that
small market teams.
Yeah, exactly. And then, you know, it kind of permeated into every organization, including the Tigers, who have beefed up their analytics. But yeah, I guess how many numbers can you spin after a while?
Well, I mean, and everybody has the same literature.
Yeah, that's the key point. Ooh, that one came back up and got him.
I was shocked to hear that, though, but he firmly believes that it's probably going to be 50-50 here in the next number of years as to what front offices rely on from the number standpoint, and then how much they put into their scouts, the scouts that are out there watching with their eyes.
I haven't seen the hard numbers on shifts and how much shifts have taken hits away, or if it's led to more base hits. But what is your feel on shifting, and will that start to revert back to the norm, do you think?
I think the guys and some of the hitters that we watch in the big leagues, I'll give you a couple of examples, the Moustakas and the Hosmer. Those guys used to get shifted on heavily. I mean, they used to play everybody to pull. Then those guys start hitting the ball the other way. Now, when you go up against those guys, you pretty much play them straight up.
Here are the Tiger shifts by season. You can see that they've gone up for the Tigers, and compared to the Major League average, Tigers still below in terms of shifts.
But actually, Tigers beefed up their analytics department in the offseason, but actually have shifted less this year than the previous year.
Yeah.
Maybe there's other things that they're looking at.
2-2 on Davis. A run in on the sac fly by Lowry.
He's got serious power in every direction. You can't make a mistake to Chris. His next homer will be 40, which will give him back-to-back 40 homer seasons. And if it wasn't for Stanton going off this year, the way he's gone off, Davis would have a healthy lead in the home run department the last 2 years.
Chris Davis got him buried in Oakland, isn't he, in terms of people knowing who he is?
Most people do not know about Chris Davis. Oakland does not play on national television, and a lot of people on the East Coast, they don't watch athletic baseball. But baseball fans know all about Chris. I watched Chris play high school baseball in Arizona.
Did you foresee this?
No, not 40 homers, but I knew he was a good player. I felt like he could get to the big leagues, but I did not see 40 homers.
Swing and a miss, and Farmer strikes him out. 2 gone now. Well, the Tigers host the Twins on September 23rd at 6:10. Former Tigers Willie Horton and Frank Tanana will take part in a pregame Q&A session. That's at 4:45 at the Big Cat Court as part of the Alumni Saturdays. Go to Tigers.com or call 866-66-TIGER. 2 down now here in the third, with the A's up 2-0 in game 1 in this series, and what has turned out to be a very nice night here downtown. Matt Olson, the batter. Olson, a strikeout victim in the first. This is a very, Rod, interesting batting stance here for Olson, and most guys hold the bat much closer to their body than he does.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Mario. And most pitchers, when they see a guy holding the bat away from them the way that Olson is, what you're taught, if you've got a good fastball like Farmer, simply throw that fastball right at his hands. I mean, that's exactly where they're going right now, right at the hands. Oh, my goodness, and they get away with it.
High towering drive to right field, deep. Castellanos back and gone.
That is the 4th straight day this guy's homered.
This one is a 2-run shot, his 22nd of the year. And that's a batting stance that has provided quite a bit of power for Matt Olson.
14 homers in his last 20 games. I mean, this guy is sizzling hot, and you brought it up, Mario. A lot of people don't know about Olson or Chapman or Chris Davis. He tried to get that fastball in, and it looked like it tailed right back over the plate. You can see where the glove is, and you can see where it ends up. And McCann had to reach back over the plate for that ball, and Olson did what he's been doing a lot this year. The intent was there, but he couldn't execute the pitch.
RBIs 41 and 42 for Olson. A's lead 4-0 now, and a bat hop grounder to Candelario, who stays with it, and a tag. He pulled him off the bag and missed the tag, apparently safe at first base. Navarro had to come off the bag. It appeared he tagged him, but apparently not. It'll be an E5 on the throw. So Healy is aboard. We'll see if the Tigers are going to challenge here. Yeah, I would have bet anything he tagged him, but he missed it.
Yeah, I saw that first look. That first look was a really good look, and it looked like he missed it. A little nonchalant throw there by Candelario across the diamond. It tailed on him.
That'll keep it going now for Chad Pinder. Ball one low to Pinder. Tigers have the first error of the ball game for either side. Pinder a fly out to right field in his only at bat. Bucks 1-0 is swung on and missed. How about we go back to college with Nissan and Mr. Pinder. Virginia Tech in 2013 All ACC first team.
Had some nice numbers at Virginia Tech. On base percentage nearly 400.
That's golfed in the air to center field. That's going to be Jones on the run. Jacoby can't get it up against the wall. That'll score another run. It's going to be a double and an RBI for Pinder, and the error comes around to score. Five nothing.
And Jacoby Jones out in center field, man, has got his track shoes on today. I mean, you can see how far he runs into the right center field gap to try to run down this ball off Pinder's bat. The ball lands on the warning track. He grabs it off the wall and gets it in, but not before a double by Pinder.
And here comes Brad Ausmus.
And that error proved to be costly.
Yeah, it cost the Tigers a run, and it cost Farmer the rest of this inning. It'll be a wall side windows pitching change, and we'll be back. Nothing in favor of the Oakland Athletics as we play here in the third and 2 outs. And Farmer was the victim of an error as well, which kept the inning going, and the A's got another run. Meanwhile, here is Chevrolet's most dependable player. It's going to be Matthew Boyd with his complete game one-hit shutout yesterday.
Lights out yesterday for Matthew Boyd. 12 fly ball outs, 10 ground ball outs, 5 strikeouts. He only walked 1. Career high 121 pitches thrown yesterday for Matthew.
And stay with us when we go to the bottom of the third. We will get Matt Boyd and put a headset on him and talk to him from the dugout. Get his thoughts on yesterday. Here is Chapman now facing the new Tigers right-hander, Artie Lewicki. Strike one.
And Lewicki won 14 games in the minor leagues this year with a 3.38 earned run average. A couple different stops in the minors for Tigers. Pitched well down there.
Slice to right center field. Jacoby Jones on the run. He'll track this one down. Great running play by Jacoby.
Jacoby gonna be tired after this one tonight.
Couple more runs for the A's. Score as we go to the bottom of the third here at Comerica Park. Tigers batting. We check in now with Matt Boyd, who graciously is joining us from the Tigers dugout here this evening. And Matthew, what we have about 24 hours plus after your gem yesterday. Have you had a chance to think about it and have it settle in a little bit? And when you look back at it, what are your thoughts?
No, I'm just grateful. You know, it was an awesome, experience. I mean, it's just, it's another start, but it's it was pretty cool. I guess I really didn't understand the magnitude of it. I still really don't. It was just a great game. We swung the bat great. Everybody on the field made a great play. Doc called a great game. It was just an awesome team win.
Matthew, I was very impressed with you after the game because you deflected a lot of the attention to your teammates. And how in the world did you remember every single defensive play that was made on the field behind you in the game? You were talking about plays that were made in the first, second, third, and fourth inning.
Man, I just,
Ooh, there's a deep drive to left field. Is it going to go? Davis to the wall, and it's going to be caught there by Pinder. One gone.
That's just how it was. I don't know, I remember weird things. I couldn't remember much stuff in school, but, I remember sequences to hitters, I guess, and what happens in the game. But, we did. Guys made great plays the whole game long. And starting right from the get-go. Kins made that that good play. And second inning, Machi made a good play, and just went on and on and on. So it was a good team win.
Man, I was earlier tonight comparing your no-hit bid of yesterday to a couple of the JV no-hitters and how JV just, he seemed much more, I don't know what the word is, but it was intense, and it was a whole lot of a different feel than what you showed yesterday. Your calmness is something that struck me, and I wonder if that's something that serves you well in situations like that. Well, you're getting attacked now. We can see that.
You're really putting it to the test right now, what you're talking about. But it's something that they haven't always been that way, and it's something that you aspire to. I mean, it's just to stay the same, right? Whether you're dominating, whether you're, you're up, you're down. It's a tie game. You just want to stay the same, right? Game 7 of the World Series, spring training. You just want to stay consistent. And, that's something that, it really it's just living in the moment is really all it is.
Matthew, I know most lineups are different, obviously, but most of the time that you pitch, the opposing manager usually has a lot of right-handed batters in there against you.
Mm-hmm.
Is this start that you had yesterday a way that you might start attacking some of the other predominantly right-handed lineups with great fastballs inside, real good changeups and good breaking balls?
I mean, that's the goal, right? To command both sides of the plate with the fastball, and then locate the other stuff too. And if you're going to do that, I feel, more often than not, I think it's going to work out. But I'd like to, that's the goal. But at the same time, I think with having 4 pitches and having the sinker as well as the 4 seam, if a team adjusts to you, you can also kind of counter that, and that's something that I've worked on with. That's something that Dubes has really been working with me with, and McCann and thanks Willie, McCann and Doc and Dubes, something that they've, there's multiple guys to get a guy out with with what I have, so yeah.
Hey, do me a favor and tell Willie to go to the bullpen. Just
right?
tell him he's getting demerits.
What's he doing in here? He doesn't belong in here. His house is down there.
Hey, Matt, you brought up Doc's name, so I may as well mention it. I mean, he
Yeah.
caught you 6 of your 8 starts when you were down in the minor leagues. I mean, did you guys develop a really nice rapport when you were in Toledo? Because it looked like you guys were on the same page all day yesterday.
We did, and I mean, Doc has a great rapport with anybody that he works with, and that speaks to a student of the game that he is, and the pride he takes in preparing and really understanding his pitchers. And he's no slight to anybody else I worked with. He's really good at it. And he helped me along. He made me do some things down when we were in Toledo, like commanding the ball in, going to my off-speed pitches at certain times, and making me do certain things, taking me out of my comfort zone that I feel comfortable doing now. And he was a huge help down there with that. And, we took it into it yesterday.
Do you recall how many times you shook him off yesterday, if at all?
One time.
That's it, huh?
Yeah,
Wow.
one time. It was a 2-0 pitch to Saladino.
How many messages did you have on your phone last night?
Way too many to read. Yeah. No, it was. I got a lot of love from family back home. It was just. I'm really grateful. It was an awesome experience, and it was awesome to throw. My first complete game in the up here, and just have the whole team be involved in it. And I mean, it was a good team win, and I was truly grateful for the experience for yesterday.
I've met your dad a lot of different times. I bet he was the first one to call you, wasn't he?
He was on the way home. He was pretty pumped up. He's a pretty intense guy. He was my coach all the way till I went to college. He coached me all the way through, and I'm sure when that hit happened, he was probably a little more animated than I was, maybe, or maybe not animated on the outside, but he's fiery, and I love it. That's where I kind of get my intensity from. So I mean, he's, he enjoyed it yesterday, that's for sure.
Kinsler will sky this one to center field, and that'll end the inning. And Matt, thanks so much for joining us here tonight. Congratulations, and tell Willie to knock it off.
I will. Thank you, guys.
All right, thanks, Matt. He got the Gatorade bath yesterday. Maybe it was just ice water. It was nice nonetheless. Top of the fourth here. And Tigers fans hoping their offense can get going a little bit here as the A's come to the plate. It'll be Maxwell and then Semien and Joyce. These are the 9, 1, and 2 hitters facing Artie Lewicki. And the first one is in for a strike. And we welcome in Craig Monroe, who's a field side down. Simo, a short night tonight for the starter, Buck Farmer. What'd you see?
Well, it looked like he made a few mistakes, too many mistakes over the hard to plate, and they were able to capitalize. I mean, this A's team is swinging the bats, guys, extremely well.
Aren't they, man? They've hit a lot of hard hit balls here tonight, and this is a team that's still, I think, by and large, got some good young players on it, but still very youthful.
We've caught them at the wrong time.
Well, there's no doubt about that, Ron. They definitely look like they're locked in as a team in the batter's box. How about that at bat by Jed Lowry? I mean, I thought that was an outstanding at bat. Got him a pitch to hit. Drove in a run, the first run of the game. So, again, they got after form a little bit today.
And Lewicki's going to have to use his breaking pitches there to keep these guys off balance along with that fastball that he can spot.
Here's the 1-2. Maxwell 0 for 1 with a ground out. Hitting just 201 post All-Star break. Maxwell 21 driven in. Apparently somebody made a nice play there. Now the 1-2. Low, ball 2. Artie Lewicki came on in the third and got the fly ball from Chapman on a great running play by Jones. There's a nice looking smile and a foul ball souvenir. Apparently this play is worthy of a replay. That has popped up. Candelario, tough play. It's going to drop in.
Iglesias has to give a better effort there. I mean, Iglesias has to get over there and help Candelario out a little bit.
That'll be a base hit. I mean, you could just tell from the get-go that Candelario is going to have an extremely difficult play here.
Don't get me wrong, it's the third baseman's ball. I mean, most third basemen make this play, and Candelario would make this play all day, every day. But Iglesias, we've seen him so many times help out the third baseman on a particular play just like this one.
7th hit of the ball game. And the A's now have Marcus Semien standing in. Strike 1. See, is there any communication with the left fielder on that play at all?
Well, I was thinking the same thing when Rod was talking about Iglesias getting over there and kind of helping out, at least letting him know that he's got to get back a little bit more. You do have to communicate. Mikey Matuk, for me, really got close enough to where I felt like he might have been able to call Candelario off because the ball stayed up in the air a very long time.
1 ball, 1 strike on Semien. Foul back out of play, 1-2.
And also, guys, on that particular play, depending on where Mikey's playing, if he's playing a little bit more towards the line, I think he makes that play. But I feel like he was a little bit over on the other side of the second base, and he just wasn't able to get there and help Candelario out on that particular ball.
Now Lewicki with the 1-2. And a bouncing ball left side and through. A base hit right by Iglesias as it finds a hole, and the first 2 A's are on here in the 4th. That'll bring up Matt Joyce.
They already have 8 hits.
Well, they scored 4 in the 3rd to jump their lead to 5-0, knocking Buck Farmer out of the game. And now here is Joyce. The A's, it seems, guys, are always in that kind of, I don't know if you want to call it rebuilding mode, but in a mode where they're looking toward the future, trying to find as many good players to fit into their system in terms of their salary structure year after year. That ball is up the middle and another base hit. And they're going to hold the runner at third base. That's going to load him up. A single for Joyce, his 2nd hit.
You're absolutely right, Mario, because it appears that the Oakland Athletics, they really don't sign any of their players to long-term contracts. And whenever they have 2 or 3 really good years, Billy Beane, who was the president and the general manager, he's always trading those players away to bring in younger, fresher talent.
Yeah, it always seems like that cycle is continuing along when guys do reach peak performance in the big leagues. They're on other teams. Rich Doobie coming out now to talk to Lewicki. Bases loaded, nobody out. And already 9 hits now for the Athletics.
And Lowry already has driven in 2. One with a double, the other courtesy of a sac fly. In the 3rd inning, he plated Simeon on both of those occasions.
Maxwell, Simeon, and Joyce, your base runners, 3rd and 1st. And Lowry stands in. A couple of grand slams in his career. Ball 1. You know, when you have what the Tigers have remaining on this team now, Simo, and a lot of young players, whether it's in the staff or in the starting lineup, I guess you get ebbs and flows like this. The team looked so good yesterday, pounding out 12 hits and nearly getting the no-hitter. And tonight, it's the A's that has taken it to them.
Well, yeah, you just have to be a little bit more efficient, especially from a pitching standpoint. Former just didn't have it today. I thought he did get ahead of some guys, and the strike to ball ratio was good. But again, the quality of the pitches were over the heart of the plate. And again, when a team is swinging the bats extremely well, guys, hitting is contagious. And right now for the Oakland Athletic, that appears to be the case.
Here's the 2-0. 3-0 now with no place to put him.
Yeah, Mario, it's all about the starting pitching. I mean, on any given night, if your starter outpitches the other starter, your team's going to have a legitimate chance of winning a game. And we saw that in in Matthew Boyd yesterday. He was tremendous.
I will say this too, guys, it's still early. The boys got a chance to hopefully get hot from an offensive standpoint and get back in this game.
And there's some bases loaded to walk to drive in a run. It's going to be the 3rd RBI of the night for Lowry. Maxwell scores from 3rd, now 6-0 A's. That'll bring up Chris Davis. For Davis tonight, a single and a strikeout. Strike 1.
Simo, what you got on Chris Davis with a K?
Man, I have been impressed with this young man, even dating back to last year. I mean, it looks like he's going to go back-to-back 40 home runs. I mean, that's just sick, Pop.
He feeling at that uniform like you used to feel yours
I don't know about all that. He looks good.
The 0-1. Fouled out of play.
He definitely doesn't get cheated, guys. I mean, he takes some big swings.
Oh, he got bad intentions when he's standing in the batter's box.
He's looking to do some serious damage.
Victor Alcantara warming up.
Right, you also have to respect the 102. Not many guys driving 100. I mean, that's big boy land.
And Davis has done that in back-to-back years, and you got to go back to the early 2000s for the last A's hitter to knock in 100 runs back-to-back seasons. Tejada and Eric Chavez.
The Oakland Athletics, before they traded for Davis, because he hit a lot of home runs in Milwaukee, and it's a little easier to hit homers in Milwaukee than it is in Oakland.
Bouncing ball to second, should be 2, a 4, a 6, nice spin, and a double play.
But they did a lot of data on Davis, and guys, what Oakland found out is all the home runs that he hit in Milwaukee would have been homers in Oakland Alameda Stadium as well, so they had no problem making the deal for Chris.
Apparently that data worked out and turned out to be true.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's definitely paying off for the Oakland Athletics. I mean, he's definitely a bright spot. And they've got some younger guys, too, that are coming. They hit some homers. Matt Joyce, former Tigers, putting up some big-time numbers there as well.
And here's a guy that put up a homer back in the third. Olson, a 2-run shot.
He has homered in 8 straight series now.
Yeah, Buck was trying to go in on an 0-1 fastball.
He missed.
He missed. It ran right back over the heart of the plate, and Olson did miss it.
Swing and a miss, 1-1.
What you got on his batting stance? Seeing where he's holding the bat, does it matter?
No, I don't think it matters where you start. We all get to a good point to where your hands are going to go back, that front foot's going to get down, and you definitely have to use the hips and the hands to generate power, and it seems like this young man has been able to do that on a consistent basis with 22 home runs.
So if you were given some hitting lessons and the kid showed up with this kind of setup, you wouldn't try to change him?
No, I wouldn't try to change him, Rod. I just feel like, again, everybody gets to a good hitting position different. And we do it different ways. You can go all the way back to how Mickey Tettleton used to swing, or Julio Franco. But they all, when the pitcher got to that point right there where that ball comes out of the glove, you just got to get the hands back and be in attack mode.
It's somewhat reminiscent of Jason Kipnis of the Indians, who we talked about, and he likes to feel the barrel of the bat, I guess is what he said.
It's a great reference point.
So everybody is a little bit different, but I guess in the end, where your hands are as the ball approaches, the most important thing, correct?
Absolutely.
3-1. And he lost it, ball 4. It's a walk to Olson. First and third now. Here's our AT&T reliability stat of the game. How about Olson compared to Rhys Hoskins over in the National League with the Phillies since August 10th? Look at these two guys.
18 homers for both of these guys since August 10th. Both rookies, too.
Young power.
Yeah, that seems to be the recipe for success here. These young guys are coming up, and they're not just hitting singles, guys. They're doing some major damage.
Here is Healy, and he looks at a ball outside. Tigers have a young man at Double-A, Stewart, who has hit a lot of home runs, 28, I believe, this year for Erie. And he's coming up through the system.
I've heard his power will translate to the big leagues, too, once he finally gets here.
Yeah, and I also, too, Rod, heard that he has some easy power. He doesn't take big swings. It's not an aggressive swing. It's just smooth and easy, and the ball just absolutely jumps off his bat.
2-0 on Ryan Healy.
I thought we might get a chance to see him here in September, but the Tigers decided not to, and I understand. He's definitely has some room to grow on the defensive side, but offensively, they say that they believe that he can be an impact bat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was with you on that, see. I thought there might have been an outside chance we could see him here in September. That ball is skied in the air to center. Fairly deep playable, though. It's going to be Jacoby Jones. 2 more runs in for the A's. They have lengthened their lead to 7-0.
Tigers trailing 7-0 as they come to bat here in the bottom of the fourth. Jeimer Candelario will lead it off, and he's the subject of our Bernstein advantage. He hasn't reached base yet tonight, but there's a good chance he will. He's just the second Tigers rookie to reach base 16 times in his first 30 games since 1913, joining Barney McCoskey, who did it in 1939. Austin Jackson, also on this list, did it in 28 games. Dale Alexander and Lou Blue in the same category. Lou Blue did it way back in 1921. Of course, Mario Impemba called those games with Lou Blue. What kind of player was he?
Lou Blue had some speed, man. He could run it down in the outfield. I have no idea who Lou Blue is. Mickey setting me up. Here's Candelario now as he swings and misses, and the count is 0-2 on Jeimer. Candelario and then Cabrera and Castellanos here in the Tigers' fourth inning. It is 7-0 in favor of the Athletics here tonight. Alcantara is still out there. He's pitched a pretty good ball game here. He's given up just one hit. Wasn't supposed to start tonight. Jarrell Cotton was their scheduled starter, was warming up and strained his groin, so couldn't go.
Alcantara's got some life on his fastball. It's been up to 97. He's been throwing that changeup at about 86, 85 miles an hour, 12-mile-per-hour differential. Tigers really haven't gotten many good swings today.
No, and we gave you Alcantara's numbers coming in. He had an ERA of over 12. 3-2 now on Candelario.
Well, the boys did prepare to face Cotton, guys, and so again, you get the scouting report on your locker. You kind of develop an approach that you feel like you can have some success against a particular pitcher, and they didn't get much data against this young man.
Matt Joyce comes in to haul that one in, and one gone.
Simo, in situations like what they encountered today, what would be done to try to be caught up to speed on a guy like Alcantara who's starting all of a sudden?
Well, for me, I would just look for fastball. I would try to eliminate the off-speed pitches, and I would just be aggressive in the strike zone, Rod, no doubt, on fastballs. And it wouldn't matter to me if it was in or out. Depending on the count, if I was up in the count, I'd probably look to pull a little bit more, and if I was behind, I would try to go the opposite way.
Would you watch that tablet down there they have in the dugout?
That's so tough for me, right? I feel like that would cloud my mind, and I would be thinking about the pitch that he's going to throw opposed to trying to pick up the baseball, and I think that's more important than anything.
So what you're saying, Simo, is that it doesn't matter who is on the mound. If it's a guy that's a late addition, you're just going to keep your approach and what you want to do regardless of what the video says.
Well, I think you have to. I think most hitters, especially more consistent hitters, they hit to their strength, Mario.
Yeah. That's rolled foul by Miggy. 1-2 the count. Cabrera flying to right field in his first at bat. Rod, would that be the approach you would take?
I probably would try to ask some people that have seen him before, because not many Tigers have seen him, but anybody have seen him in the minor leagues. I'd probably try to get some type of a scouting report, and then I probably would watch that tablet they got there to give me an advantage. I wasn't as good as Simo. I'll be looking for edge.
Well, I just think it's easy, try to look for, just look for the fastball. Try to keep it simple. I think the more you can keep it simple and eliminate all the thinking in the batter's box, I think you'll have more success.
Here is Castellanos with 2 outs. Rod would be sitting on a bench with his popcorn, man. He got that tablet open.
I opened that tablet up, man.
Nick grounded out in the second, 0 for 1. Tigers have only 1 hit so far, and Castellanos looks at a strike. "14-game hit streak for Castellanos, a career high."
Bob Melvin, manager of the Oakland Athletics, has to be elated at the start that Alcantara has turned in so far. A Tigers team that was absolutely on fire yesterday. He's handcuffed so far, just 1 hit. 7 of 14 in first pitch strikes, which is not great, but he's been able to even the count after he's fallen behind.
Here's the 1-1. Awkward swing there by Nick. Well, he certainly couldn't have expected this. 1 hit through 4 or make it 3 2/3. Now there is action. Castro, the right-hander, is probably going to be next for them.
Yeah, but guys, when you get down early from an offensive standpoint, you really start to maybe try to do a little bit too much, trying to climb your way back into the game.
A solid base hit for Castellanos in a 15-gamer. He's going to second, and he is safe.
Do it, Nicholas.
Hustling double for Castellanos.
That is not a double on most nights, and I think Pinder in center field, although he has good speed, he's a little lazy getting over to this ball. And Nicholas was thinking 2 out of the batter's box. He did not hesitate. He did not stop, and he slid so hard he slid past the bag, but he was able to hold on to it with that left hand before the tag of Lowry got back on him. How about that?
I love it, Rob. That's hustling. That's getting out of the batter's box. That's tasting that double. That's what that was. He said, I'm going to force him to make an outstanding play here, and Pinder wasn't able to do it. Great job there by Nick Castellanos.
Longest streak's 15 for Nick. McCann had a 14-gamer.
That's the longest hitting streak a Tiger has had since 2013, where Miguel Cabrera had a 15-game hit streak.
Had a little dive low, 1 ball and no strikes.
Nicholas is not playing like a team that is 25 games under 500, a team that's going home on October 1st. He's playing like a team that looks like it's going to the postseason. At least he's playing that way.
His team down 7-0, 2 outs. Easily could have pulled in with a base hit there, but he hustles into second. And now Navarro trying to drive him in.
Guys, that's leadership right there for me. That's
I would
letting
agree.
the boys know, listen, we're not quitting. We're going to get after you every single day, win or lose, but we're going to get after it every day in every facet of the game. And that's a great example there by Nicholas Castellanos.
You think Simo going forward, you'll have more of a leadership role?
I think so. And I feel like Nick has a personality to embrace it. I feel like he wants to be a leader on this team.
Yeah, he's never really been afraid to voice his opinion, even when he showed up at age 21.
Plays with tremendous confidence, and I think that's where it starts.
Young boys call that swagger.
That's right.
Now 3-1 on Navarro.
Top button undone, letting it fly.
Now Castellanos in his 15-game streak batting at a .411 clip over that stretch.
Rocking the white spikes, Rod.
Nice.
Billy White Shoes Johnson.
Swing and a miss. There's definitely no scientific fact behind this, but white shoes make you faster.
You look faster.
They make you look faster.
I just believe it.
Make you look faster.
3-2 now on Navarro. That'll get fouled down the left field line. McCann waiting on deck. Navarro has the other Tigers hit a single back in the second. He was called up on September the 1st. Tigers signed him as a free agent in January.
Pretty much everything away this time against Navarro. First time up today, he tried to come inside with a fastball. Navarro turned on him for a solid single to right field. Every single pitch during the course of this pitch sequence, for the most part, fastballs and changeups tailing away from Navarro.
Two-out double by Castellanos, and Navarro trying to cash him in. Walked him.
Well, here's the scouting report on Cotton, and all Alcantara, excuse me. You see the percentage of fastballs that both guys throw. So they prepared for Cotton on the left there, 9% with the breaking ball, 21% changeup. So both guys basically have high velocity with their fastballs, and both guys use their changeups quite a bit. So not a huge difference between the two.
Yeah, that's a great visual right there of the difference. Now Bob Melvin coming out. Wallside windows pitching change. He'll be back.
Yeah.
Encounter here, the youngest active American League rosters, and when you look at the Tigers and A's, they're right there.
Well, four of the teams pretty much kind of rebuilding. The only team that's young are the Yankees, and they're not really rebuilding. The Yankees are going to the postseason. Twins as well, possibly.
Just saw the White Sox. Got the A's in town now, and Simon Castro comes on for Oakland.
Another hard thrower. And Castro's fastball will get up to 95 miles an hour. You see he's punched out 30 in the 21 games he's been in. He's only walked 13, the league hitting, and just 212 against him. So pretty much just fastball slider.
McCann will face him now with 2 on 2 out, down 7-0. Fouled away 0-1. Mack lined out to right field in his only at bat. Castellanos at second and Navarro at first. Fouled away.
Simo, what you got on the delivery here of Castro? It just looks like he just kind of slides toward home plate, long and lanky with a loose arm.
Yeah, very loose, Rod, and a little deception here too, and that's why I feel like McCann's a little late there. So, but it's okay now. He's got 0-2 count.
Never seen him before. It's
Never
tough to
seen
pick up.
Yeah, but I like this. The 0-2, you have to spread out. You've got to shorten up, and McCann's been really good with 2 strikes, driving that ball the opposite way. So I think this bode well for him.
He kind of yanks his glove down to the belt and then fires it home.
Yeah, he does. I mean, it's kind of unorthodox. It's a different delivery. Watch, it kind of slides toward home plate. Glove goes down, hand goes down, hides the baseball very well. High 3/4 arm slot.
Guys, one of the things that I would look at and what I tried to do every single time I was in the batter's box, when the pitcher took the ball out of the glove, when he separated, I was really trying to separate as well so I could be there on time.
Look, it's bad.
Get another one.
That's what they call getting in the kitchen there. Castro, 29 years of age, out of the Dominican Republic. He's been around a while in pro ball since '06. High fly ball, center field. It's playable. Pinder is under it, and the threat is over for the Tigers. 4 in the books in Comerica. Top of the 5th now here at the ballpark. And this Saturday, Tigers face the Minnesota Twins at 6:10. The first 10,000 fans receive a free Tigers Hawaiian shirt. For tickets, go to tigers.com or call 866-66-TIGER. 2 of the sharpest dressed men that I know, Craig Monroe and Rod Allen, would look wonderful in one of those shirts.
I think C could pull it off, though.
Oh, I'm definitely wearing it. Give me one.
So you don't care?
No, not at all.
Ain't no shame in his game.
No shame in my game.
Pinder's out, 1 gone on 1 pitch.
They're cramping your style down there today, man. They got you sitting in a different spot down there. You all right?
No, they ain't cramping it. I'm okay. I'm hanging down here. I'm close to the action with the boys over here. They're giving me a hard time. Jacoby Jones, his last at bat, hit a ball pretty deep out to center. I joked with him. I said, listen, got to get in the weight room a little bit, you know?
You hide behind that fence. That's what you're doing.
No, well, I got to keep my eyes on the ball. Now, you know this is a dangerous position down here, Ron. Keep your head on the swivel.
It is dangerous down there.
Chapman looks at a ball high, 1-0.
But it's a great vantage point, though. It almost makes you feel like you can put your spikes on and get out there.
Well, I kind of feel like that right now, being this close to the boys.
Artie Lewicki came on in relief of the starter, Buck Farmer, and he delivers low and away. There is Simo's perspective right there.
Not a bad view here, guys.
No.
Hard screaming line drive. All you got to do is dip your head down low under that screen, man. You're good.
Mario, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Exactly what I'm going to do.
Meanwhile, Chapman goes up in the count, 3-0. Ground out, fly out for the Athletics third baseman.
Now, guys, if it's not too hot, though, I'm going to try to make a play.
You are not.
Oh, yes, I am.
All right, we'll hold you to it. There's ball 4. So after a 1-pitch out, Chapman draws a walk. Boy, the A's have had a ton of base runners tonight. Farmer had 1-1-2-3 inning, and that was back in the 2nd. Here's Maxwell. They have had a total of 14 base runners already in the game. 7 runs on 9 Athletics hits. Ball 1.
This is already the 3rd at bat for their number 9 hitter, and we're in the top half of the 5th inning.
Single to start the 4th and scored a run. 1-1. Milwaukee was the Tigers' minor league pitcher of the month for August. Made his major league debut against the Royals in a starting role, 5 innings, 5 runs, 11 hits.
He won a lot of games in the minors this year.
That'll miss low. Yeah, had a really good season.
14-4.
Between Double-A Erie and Triple-A Toledo. ERA 3.38. University of Virginia is where he played his college ball. Here's the 2-1. High fly ball left field, chasing Matuk back, still going to the track, to the wall to make the catch. He had it all the way. 2 gone.
Nice route there by Mikey Matuk in left field, guys. That ball was up high. He knew exactly where he needed to get to. He knew it was going to be close to the wall. He knew where he was at. And he gets back and he makes a play. Made that look easy, didn't he, Rock?
It's a good play by Mikey. Good center field. He can play all 3 outfield positions, as a matter of fact. He has a lot of value. He can play center, right, left, continues to hit. He'll find a spot.
Well, he also got that football mentality, too. Banging into the wall, that nice play he made in center field. Probably one of the better catches we've seen here at Comerica Park.
This year for sure. Well, any year, maybe.
Semien on base 3 times, 2 singles, hit by pitch. He has scored all 3 times, and he waves and misses 0-2.
It's the 40th pitch now that Milwaukee has thrown, and he is even with 20 balls and 20 strikes.
Not the ratio you're looking for.
No.
And he just missed. 1-2.
Guys, I think a lot of that has to do with trusting. I think guys that have success in the minor leagues, they get to the big leagues and you want to be confident and you try to trick yourself to be in that. But until you have a little bit of success, you still have that little bit of doubt.
Toward the right field line, Castellanos coming toward the line, up against the wall, out of play.
See, no disrespect to the Oakland Athletics, but wouldn't this be a lineup, though, that you would think that the pitchers would come after? I mean, they've got a lot of rookies. I mean, they have Chris Davis, they have Lowry, but by and large, a very young team. Wouldn't you think that they would be comfortable pitching against them?
Yeah, you would think so, but Rob, but then you start to look at some of their numbers and go, man, these guys don't miss many mistakes. You've got several guys in this lineup that has 20 or more home runs. So again, as from a pitching standpoint, I'm thinking these guys are dangerous hitters. So I got to be fine. I've got to be perfect. And in all honesty, you don't have to be.
They have hit 61 homers this year. They're rookies, and that's the most in the majors. So 61 home runs by their rookies.
You look at the numbers, the A's offense get 49% of their runs via the homer. 49%.
That's going to be a record if that continues to stay that high. Their previous record of percentage home runs was 46%.
Semien's out of there. That'll end the inning. Tigers baseball tonight presented by Bell Tire. Go to the bottom of the 5th inning, and Tigers fans, if you can't catch the games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device. Fox Sports Go. Download the app. Take Fox Sports Detroit and Tigers baseball with you wherever you go. Mikey Matuk comes rolling in. It'll be Matuk, Jones, Iglesias, bottom 3, facing Simon Castro, who will start his first full inning of work. And Mikey rolls the foul.
In Mikey, you'll pick the stick, see?
Yes, sir.
Looked like he tried to hit you right there.
He's trying to get that head out.
Huh? He had a good day for you yesterday.
Yes, he did.
And you backed up and you took him again today. I cannot believe Mickey York did not take Candelario today. He had 15 points for him yesterday. And he had the second pick and he was out there and Mickey did not take him. Cannot believe that.
The 0-1 pitch inside 1-1. Now, there is a strategy to why he didn't pick him.
Well, we do know that now,
yes,
which is, I didn't think it was all that serious, though.
Keating right now is in first place, but it's going to be Mickey in that spot the rest of the year, I think, after this series.
Oh.
So he's going to be in the.
Oh, so basically what he did today is he took who he took, and he left Candelario there for Keating to take.
Right.
So they can continue to get points in that spot.
Right.
Oh.
The key word is there. They can continue to do it.
So what about the other spot that he's in, right? He don't care about that spot?
He don't care about that spot. Because at the end of the year, he's going to be in that first spot, which is thoroughly confusing to people.
Okay, okay. I got it.
Hey, what are you talking about?
There he is.
What?
We knew we'd wake him up from his slumber.
Just trying to, watch a ball game here.
Go back to your nap, Nick.
Get my stuff together, Get my post-game stuff ready, and I hear all this stuff, all this talk on the air.
Shot the third foul.
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
That's right. Oh, pick this stick, guys. It's so much fun.
That is.
It's fun. Oh.
Coming down to the end, too, man. I know Rod's been taking this seriously here. He's had some really good reactions in the booth after his guy will hit a home run.
Oh, for sure. I love it when my guys do well.
He wants to win. 2-2 on Matuk. Again, he came inside, and again, Mikey turned on it foul.
Tigers have had 7 different players tonight see at least 6 pitches in their at-bat here today. It hasn't resulted in a lot of hits, but the guys are working some counts and seeing a lot of pitches.
A lot of times, too, guys, you can put together a good at-bat and even sometimes strike out or pop it up. But the fact that, like today, like right now, Mikey is battling. He's fouling off the good fastball, good pitches. He's fouling off some breaking balls.
He'll put that one in play. Going to be a tough play for the third baseman, and not in time. Chapman's throw is late. It'll be an infield hit for Matuk.
I'll take it.
And so will Mikey.
The center fielder, Jacoby Jones.
Chapman did everything that he could do. He came in and he gloved it. He transferred to the throwing hand, but too late for Matuk, who runs too well.
What I felt like when I did that, when I hit one off the end or got jammed a little bit on the third base and you got to come in and make a bare hand play, I was sniffing right now. I felt like I could get that extra gear. That looked like Mikey. Mikey was running.
Yeah, he was.
Trying to get that knock.
Took Mikey 4 seconds from the time he made contact with that ball until his right foot hit the bag, and that's a little bit better than average from the right side. 4-2 is average running down the line from the right side of the batter's box.
Jacoby Jones, the batter. Ripped down the left field line. It's going to go to the corner, all the way to the wall. Matuk to third. They're going to send him home. And Mikey will come around to score standing up. Double RBI for Jacoby Jones.
The shortstop,
Tigers are on the board.
This is why I absolutely love Jacoby Jones, because he does show you his tools from time to time. That's a firm fastball in the low 90s, and he turns on it and whistles this ball down in the left field corner. Mott took with good speed. He's looking at Dave Clark, and Dave Clark's got that left arm waving. Mikey was able to score no problem whatsoever.
Now Iglesias, nobody out. 7-1 ball game. Runner goes to third, no throw. And Jacoby steals third, diving easily.
He hurt himself.
Yeah, he's hurt.
Oh my goodness, that head first slide.
You can tell immediately there's something wrong here. Kevin Rand coming out. How many times do we see this?
Oh my goodness. And he's got that protective device on the right hand, see, but it's the left hand that Kevin Rand is looking at.
Yeah. I just never felt comfortable, man. Diving head first. Always just wanted to go in feet first. I just felt better. But, like, look at there. He got a jam right there. Probably jammed it.
Well, just hope he just jammed it.
I hope so.
It was a great look at that left hand just jamming into the bag.
That is the first career steal of third base for the youngster Jacoby Jones. First a minute. You can see the look on Dave Clark's face as to it's not good.
He'll stay in.
You can tell he's in a lot of pain.
Guys, one thing we do know, he is a tough one. There's no doubt about that.
He is holding that thing down, and he is in a lot of pain right now. He's trying to withstand it, but you can tell he's visibly in a lot of pain.
Iglesias trying to score him now from third. 2-0. Iggy bounced out his first time up. Hard hit ball right to third.
That's good base running by Jacoby.
Nice read, Rod.
Good base running. Ball hit that sharply. A lot of times you want to take one step toward home plate, and Jacoby didn't do that. Ball hit hard. He got right back to the bag. Good base running.
Here's Ian Kinsler.
What's Jacoby doing down there? See, he's in a lot of pain.
Well, it looks like he keeps tugging at it. I think he might have just jammed it.
Ian, a strikeout and a flyout.
Castro's got some natural sink action from his arm slot that allows him to run that 91, 93 mile per hour two-seam fastball in on some of the right-handers.
Liam Hendricks is warming up in the bullpen now for the A's as they try and piece this one together. Jarrell Cotton was to start, late scratch with a groin problem, so Alcantara came out of the bullpen and started. Now Castro. That's drilled toward left field. Davis is on the move. He's not going to get it up against the wall. That'll get a run in, and Kinsler will go to second with a double and an RBI. 7-2 ball game.
And Tigers continue to chip away. The 24th double of the season for Ian Kinsler.
It's going to be it for Simon Castro. He'll depart. Wallside Windows pitching change. We'll be back. Bottom of the 5th. Here's the 1-800-CALL-SAM call of the game. Simos, pretty good base running there by Jones.
Yeah, take a look here. He gets a great jump off second, steals third base. And then on the line drive off Iggy back, he reads it right away. Line drive, he has to get back. But then this was impressive to me. Right away, Kinsler takes a great swing. He goes right back to the bag, guys, to tag up. That's textbook. That's how you do it. Great job there by Jacoby Jones.
And the Tigers continue to chip away now. They're down by 2 runs here in the 5th inning. New right-hander on for the Athletics, Liam Hendricks.
He's pitched a lot this year. And pitching in his 66th game, ERA sits over 4.5. 73 strikeouts for Hendricks. He's walked 23. Loves his fastball. He throws that 74% of the time. When not throwing that, pretty much a slider and a curveball just 4% of the time.
Hendricks was originally signed by the Twins, got to the big leagues for the first time with Minnesota back in 2011.
He's got a good arm. His fastball gets all the way up to 96 miles an hour.
Strike 1 on Candelario. Jamer 0 for 2, strikeout, fly out. Alcantara started, then Castro, and now Hendricks. He has also pitched with Toronto, Kansas City, aside from Oakland and Minnesota. The 0-1. Candelario with 10 walks here in the month of September, batting .373 this month. Bouncer right back to the mound. They're going to go to third and get Kinsler in a rundown. And now Kinsler will stay in that rundown long enough to get the runner Candelario to second. 2 gone.
Ian Kinsler was already in scoring position. You have to make sure that that ball gets through the middle of the infield if you're going to go to third base, but give him credit for staying in the rundown long enough to allow Candelario to get into scoring position.
Fielder's choice, 1-5-6-1, the put out of Kinsler, and here is Cabrera.
See, I want to ask you on Candelario, has he shown you anything that makes you believe that he will not be the everyday third baseman next year when the team leaves spring training if he's healthy?
Oh, I'm a fan, Rod. I know it's been a small sample size, but this kid for me is a real deal. He can pick it over here at third base. He's gotten a tremendous approach at the plate, has a real good idea of the strike zone, has some pop in his bat. We've seen that here now. He's gone deep twice. More of a gap hitter too. He just knows how to play the game at a very young age.
The 1-0. 1-1 on Miggy. Yeah, that's the key point, I think, Simo. The fact that he's still very, very young, and when he came up with the Cubs this year, didn't fare all that well, but apparently used that experience to go back down, and now his second opportunity here has been a good one.
It really has. And then when you hear him talk, for me, he just sounds like he's a sponge. He's trying to soak it all in and trying to learn as much as he can to get better each and every day. And that's so important at this level.
Well, he had to believe that his opportunity to play in the big leagues was much better here in Detroit with the rebuild than it ever would have been with Chicago.
Oh, he's loving the fact that he got traded to Detroit because he wasn't going anywhere in Chicago, not with Chris Bryant playing third base and Rizzo playing first base.
There's a lot of younger players on this Tiger team that should be excited about the opportunity that they're going to get to try to make an impact and try to be on this team in 2018.
Now Hendricks wants his catcher Maxwell to come out.
What do you got on Miggy? See, I was listening to your pregame piece yesterday, and I think you think that Miggy probably should not play all that much the remainder of the way?
Well, he's been so good throughout his major league career, Rod. For me, the best right-hand hitter in the game. And I know that he's dealing with a lot of issues, back issues, growing at times. But Miggy's one of those players, man, that he'll fight and play through anything. And that's why I respect what he's been able to do.
Right to the first baseman, and Olsen scoops it up. That'll end the inning. Tigers get on the board, though. They score a couple, and Simo, we'll see you post-game, my friend.
All right, fellas. See you on post-game.
Brought to you by the Sam Bernstein Law Firm, official legal services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit. Bell Tire for tires and auto service. Everybody needs a Bell Tire guy. And by Chevy, the only brand to earn J.D. Power Dependability Awards for cars, trucks, and SUVs 2 years in a row. Well, despite the score here tonight, plenty of happy Tigers fans. And right now, 7-2 in favor of the Athletics. And as we go to the top of the sixth, the Tigers have a new pitcher. Victor Alcantara.
Alcantara? How do you say his name?
Well, he's got the accent over the second A, so I'm going to go with Alcantara.
Alcantara. The guy that just left the game spelled his name the exact same way. What was his name? Alcantara?
Alcantara. Well, that's the same thing. Just call him Victor. Swing and a miss.
Same letters, same spelling.
Oh boy, we're doing our best up here. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Joyce, and it's fouled back out of play. The accent is very important when you look at the last names, because it tells you where to place the emphasis.
So the emphasis is placed where, on the A?
On the on the first A.
So it's Alcantara.
No, Alcantara.
Alcantara.
Yeah, there you go.
Alcantara. Alcantara.
There's a ground ball up the middle base hit. That is going to be a 3-hit game now for Joyce, and the Athletics have 10 hits.
Joyce has had a decent year. 24 homers.
Jed Lowry's had a big game. He has knocked in a total of 3. Double, sac fly, bases loaded walk.
This has been the best overall offensive season that Jed Lowry has ever had. Career highs in several categories, and not only is he getting it done with the bat, Mario, he is playing an outstanding second base. The only second baseman in the American League with a better fielding percentage is the second baseman we're going to see in a couple of days, Brian Dozier of the Minnesota Twins. So he's having a good year.
Overall, a very good season. That'll get away. Move the runner up. Choice will go to second.
And some may wonder why Lowry uses the double ear flaps where most big leaguers use just one. That's because he's a switch hitter and he probably just wants one helmet instead of having two helmets.
Lowry in the offseason had nasal surgery, which allowed him to sleep a lot better. He was having trouble sleeping, and so he had the surgery. And he has said that it really has improved his quality, his lifestyle quality. And, well, the numbers are there to back it up this year.
Oh, you got to sleep now.
That is for sure. The 2-0 is a ball outside. Did he go? Did not. 3-0.
For a team that strikes out as much as Oakland strikes out, they sure have had themselves in a lot of really friendly fastball counts today.
That'll dart low for ball 4. Now the first two have reached. That'll bring up Chris Davis. So more trouble brewing here for the Tigers in the 6th. Davis knocked into a double play. It drove in a run, but no RBI for Davis.
"11 plate appearances for their 1, 2, 3 hitters today, and they've been on base 9 times in 11 plate appearances."
Right back up the middle off of Alcantara. It's going to roll to first base, but nobody there, and everybody is safe. That'll be an infield hit.
Go back to the 3rd inning. And Olsen, their first baseman, who has homered in 8 straight series and has now homered again, number 22 on the season. He's got a lot of power. And that fastball Farmer wanted inside. It leaked back over the heart of the plate, and Olsen made him pay.
Kevin Rand is out to look at Alcantara to see if he's all right.
Sounded like it got him right off the shoe.
He'll stay in the game. He's all right. And now with the bases loaded, nobody out, here comes Olsen. That is 11 hits now for the Athletics. They were up 7-0 before the Tigers got 2 in the 5th.
22 homers, but only 42 RBI. So he must be hitting a lot of solo shots.
11 home runs now in his last 15 games. I mean, you talk about being red hot. Infield coming in against Olsen.
Could be dangerous as hard as this young man hits the ball.
"23 home runs this year in the minor leagues." So if you combine his numbers, well over 40, and there's a wave and a miss, 1-1.
He had a year partner about 3 years ago when he was playing in A-ball. He had 37 home runs and drove in 97 runs. So his power is true. He's got true power. 37 homers in A-ball. That's a lot of homers.
But it's still not enough to be called country strong.
Not yet. I don't know him enough. I don't know him.
That's going to take some earning right there.
That's going to take some earning.
1-2.
And for the most part, everything lowing away to Olsen. You can see where Victor has located all of them.
Pulled foul just outside of the bag. Alcantara is the young man they got for Cameron Maybin in the offseason, the first trade the Tigers made last offseason. from the Angels. Tigers dealing with the halos again this year, shipping Justin Upton to Anaheim.
And now Maben is playing for the Houston Astros, and he's going to the postseason.
The 1-2. Little chopper to the right side. They're going to come home. Navarro's throw is 1, relay 2. A double play. That'll help. The second double play the A's have bounced into.
Man, tailor-made hop here for Navarro. He quickly gets the ball to James McCann. McCann takes his time and gets the ball back down to first base. He and Kinsler over there covering.
Nicely done. Second and third down with 2 outs. And here is Ryan Healy. Strike 1 on Healy. 0 for 3 with a run scored in this game. Came in batting .339 over his last 28 contests. Little chopper toward third base. Candelario. Quick throw is in time. Got him. That'll end the inning. The A's loaded him up with nobody out, but they failed to score. And they strand 2 men on base. Candelario, nifty play at third to end the inning.
Promised you earlier in the game, it's Miller time, and it is always brought to you by Miller Lite. Nicholas Castellanos, in his last time up, he was able to extend his hitting streak to a career-high 15 games. It was a hustling double. Pender in center field did not think that Nicholas was going to stretch that single into a double, and Nicholas was able to do so with great hustle.
He'll get it started here in the 6th inning. Castellanos, Navarro, and McCann facing Liam Hendricks, the third Oakland pitcher in this game. Tigers down 7-2. There's a ball outside, 1-0. Alcantara somehow getting out of that bases loaded, nobody out jam. Nick double. Ground out, 15 gamer. And you look at a ball outside, 2-0. Castellanos has now also hit safely in 20 of his last 21. Ground ball up the middle, another hit for Castellanos, a single to center. Davis hustles it back in this time, leadoff man on.
You just love the fact that Castellanos gets himself into a really nice fastball-friendly count, and Henderson's got a decent fastball. It's about 94, but it's right down the middle. But take a look at him open up the hips, which clears them out of the way and then allows the hands to get into the hitting zone. It's a beautiful swing by Castellanos, who is on fire right now.
We'll bring up Navarro, who's been on base twice, single and a walk. Another 2-hit game for Nick. Navarro looks at a strike. Tigers had 2 more against the A's. The 0-1. One and 2 on Navarro, who is now 4 for his last 7 at bats.
How many multi-hit games do you think Castellanos has had during the course of the 15-game hit streak?
We'd have to look that up. I would bet the majority, wouldn't you think? I mean, he hasn't had too many 1-for-4s.
9 of them.
Really?
9 of the 15 multi-hit games during the course of the 15-game hit streak. Our illustrious crack staff down in the truck fed that number to me.
See, now you could have easily said that you totaled it up yourself.
My people know that would not be true.
Here's the 1-2. Runner goes. And a ball high. Quick throw down. Not in time. Stolen base.
It's another point.
Look at you celebrating up here. It's another point. You're brutal. Just brutal, man. Oh, man.
I just love the way the Knicks playing right now, though.
Yeah, Pick the Stick has turned you into a monster. 2-2.
He wouldn't steal third, would he?
Well, we're down 7-2 here, and he's already stolen a base. There's the ball low and away, 3-2. You might as well swipe third. McCann on deck. So here's the plan now. You walk Navarro and you let McCann hit a 3-run homer. Because he's my guy. That would work out beautifully.
I'd like to see James do something.
Here's the 3-2. Lofted in the air to left. Davis backing up. Nick tagging up, but holding. 1 out. Hey, did you know this Sunday the Tigers take on the Twins at 12:10? It's Sunday Kids Day, and all kids 14 and under receive a free Daniel Norris bearded knit cap. You can get tickets by going to Tigers.com or calling 866-66-TIGER.
That's the final Sunday home game of the year for the kids, right?
It is. And then it's on to the road trip, KC, Minnesota, to close out the year. Here's McCann now. A couple of fly balls. He's 0 for 2. In the air down the right field line, but headed back to the seats.
Ooh, James had that first pitch fastball that he was looking for. Just couldn't catch it out front.
McCann the day off yesterday and back in there tonight. Tigers had some pretty good candidates next year. You got McCann. Hicks has done a nice job coming off the bench. Holiday back in the organization, had a really good year at AAA. The 0-1. They traded for the young kid Rogers, but he's only an A-ball, so he's a few years away. Catching one of those premium positions where if you can hit it and you can get a guy that can be in the big leagues for a while, it can really serve your system well.
Right. Brian Holiday, Hicks, and both over there sitting next to one another.
Swing and a miss. And McCann down on strikes. Two gone. Here is Mikey Matuk. Mikey had a knock to get things started back in the 5th, eventually scored a run on the Jones double. Castellanos hit second. He singled to start the inning and then stole a bag. Ball 1 from Liam Hendriks, who back in his days with the Twins early on in his career was a starting pitcher. Transitioned full-time to the bullpen a couple of years ago. Been with Toronto and KC. Tigers tonight have been out hitting 11-6. They trail 7-2. The 1-0, and Mikey looks at a strike right at the knees. 1-1.
Hendrick does not look like a pitcher. He looks like he could be more of a first baseman or a catcher or something.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
You see them arms? He does not look like, he does not have a pitcher's build.
6 feet 198. Little chopper back up the middle. Going to be a tough play. Semien, quick throw, not in time. Castellanos will hold at third. It'll be an infield hit for Mikey Matuk.
That is the second infield single of the night for Mikey Matuk. If you weren't with us the last time Jacoby was up after doubling, you could see that he slid hard and he slid into that bag with the left hand, and Kevin Rand along with Brad Ausmus came out to check on him. He stayed in the game and apparently he's okay, but he's holding that middle finger on the left hand.
And this is his first at bat since doing that. A quick visit for Liam Hendriks. Tigers now had their 7th hit. Scott Emerson, the pitching coach, out with a quick chat with Hendriks. And now here's Jacoby. Runner goes to second, and the throw down is not in time.
Tigers running at will here today, down by 5, but continue to swipe a lot of bases. That's their 3rd steal of the day.
Mikey has his 6th of the year. Third time this year the Tigers have had a three steal game. Maxwell, their catcher, came in at 26% on the year, but has had no luck tonight. Oh, 0-2 on Jacoby. Fly ball right field. Fairly deep, playable though. Matt Joyce under it, and that'll end the inning. No runs, 2 hits, 2 steals, 2 left. Fox Sports Features, where we commemorate and celebrate the Tigers' history with team memorabilia that has been collected and passed down by fans for generations, from the cards to signed baseballs. Every piece of history has a story, and it all starts Tuesday at 6 on Fox Sports Detroit. That'll be a fun show tomorrow evening.
Should be.
In the meantime, we go to the 7th inning. 7-2 is our score with the Athletics on top, and Chad Pinder leads it off. Swing and a miss, 0-1. It'll be Pinder, Chapman, Maxwell, bottom 3 coming up for the A's. Pinder a double and an RBI. It'll dive in for a strike. 0-2 on Chad Pinder. He's played all over the place. Right field, he's played left, he's played short, second, DH. 5 different positions this year. The 0-2. Ooh, that was close. Just a smidge outside. 1-2.
And he's hit a little bit for guys that's played 5 different positions. Batting average kind of low, but he's hit 15 homers. He's driven in 41, so that's some nice production.
Casilla, the right-hander, heating up in their bullpen. Chop foul. Bob Melvis had to piece this one together after his starter Jarrell Cotton was a late scratch.
I thought Casilla was closing games for them.
Well, he's going to be coming to this ball game next. Oh, right on top of the helmet. And to the ground goes Pinder.
It was a breaking pitch. At 85 miles an hour, but Pinder's still down. Isn't that funny, though? Because we've seen some guys on our team this year get hit with 97, 98 mile per hour fastballs
and get up.
Simply get up and just walk down to first base. But that one must have got him right in the back of the head somewhere. It was 85. It was a breaking pitch. Bob Melvin making sure that Pinder is okay.
He'll remain in the game, so the leadoff man on here in the 7th. It's going to bring up Chapman. Fly ball ground out and a walk for Matt Chapman. Rolled foul.
And since the All-Star break, Chapman has 17 doubles and 31 extra base hits, which is the most for any rookie in the major leagues. A lot of good rookie players this year in the big leagues.
And they're making immediate impacts.
I mean, we've talked about the Bellingers of the world and the Aaron Judges of the world, but there's a lot of other guys, man, that are putting up really good numbers in that rookie class. The kid just left here, Davidson, had 25 homers for the Chicago White Sox. They're rookie.
No balls, 2 strikes on Chapman. Popped up. It'll be Kinsler at second, and Chapman is out, 1 gone. FansMLB.com is your #1 mobile app for live Tigers baseball. Stay connected with fully customizable experience. Get Tigers home screen icons and app features, as well as game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcast, statcast news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat today. Here is Bruce Maxwell. The Athletics raced out to a 7-0 lead. They had a 4-run third. It's been 7-2 since the 5th inning when the Tigers got a couple of runs. Maxwell is single and 3 at bats plus a run scored. Slice toward left center. That's going to get down. Another hit for the A's. Meanwhile, Pinder going to third. He's in there standing up, and 12 hits now for Oakland. Only 1 out. You know, as we wind down this season, of course, where the Tigers finish will have an impact on where they stand as far as the draft next year. The Tigers certainly don't want to lose games, but their standing right now has them sitting in a pretty good spot to have a pretty good first-round pick next year.
Mm-hmm.
The A's have struggled as well, so they are up there. There's a strike called. 0-1 the count on Marcus Semien.
I guess that's one consolation if you do have a poor season. Giants first, Phillies, White Sox, and currently right now the Tigers sit at 4th in the draft order.
There's a ball outside. I think that draft can be so difficult. I really admire those that scout players, and you know, when teams put together their draft board, it's such a crapshoot on many levels, really outside of the first round. And even the first round sometimes can be a challenge.
It can be. That's why if you're a scouting director, you have to, when making that first round draft choice, you have to have as many of your people go in and see that player as possible, so that not only you are making the decision, but several of your scouts and your cross-checkers are also helping you make that decision.
1-2 is sliced foul out of play. Semien on base 3 times. He has scored 3 times. The 1-2 up and in. 2-2 on Semien. Tigers got a good one this year with their first round pick and Alex Faedo out of Florida, who is the MVP of the College World Series, and he will begin his pro career next year with the Tigers. Swing and a miss, and down goes Simeon, 2 gone.
Tigers were scheduled to have instructional league start yesterday, which would have been the 17th. And they had to back it up a week because of the hurricane. And the hurricane obviously rolled through Lakeland and did some damage, and not only in the city of Lakeland, but also did a little bit of damage to the newly renovated complex. So they're going to start instructional league a week later. They're still going to have it, but they had to postpone it for a week.
Here's Matt Joyce with 2 outs.
Instructional league is where the Tigers will send all of their younger prospects, all the guys that they think has an opportunity to get to the big leagues at some point in time in their careers, and they have them all together in one spot, and they play against some of the other prospects from other organizations. So instructional league can be very valuable to a lot of your younger players.
The 0-1. 0-2 now on Joyce. By younger players, what are the ages typically of kids that are in instructional league?
Well, usually it's from A ball down to rookie ball. Not many AA guys go to instructional league unless the organization is trying to get the AA guys ready to go to Puerto Rico or Dominican Republic or somewhere like that. Then some older guys will go down for about a week and get some at-bats to get themselves ready to go and play.
Joyce with 3 singles and a run scored, 3 out of 4 tonight.
And generally speaking, instructional league is for your higher round draft choices.
Here's the 1-2. Another foul, back out of play. Lowry waiting on deck.
And Bob Melvin has his good buddy standing right next to him again.
Right back to the mound, and that's going to take care of the A's here in the 7th. No runs, a couple of runners left.
Contra started for the Oakland Athletics here tonight. It was supposed to be Jarrell Cotton, but he was scratched really early, and Alcantara did a pretty nice job keeping the Tigers off balance. He stayed out there nearly 4 innings and didn't give up a whole lot. Had a good firm fastball that got up to 97 with a loose arm, and he did a nice job for Bob Melvin.
Beltire pitch by pitch, and we go to the bottom of the 7th. Tigers coming up now. And here is Santiago Casilla.
And Casilla has been in now 59 games, so he's been leaned on heavily by Bob Melvin. Fastball 63% of the time. He's got a slider, he's got a curveball, he got a changeup. He's a former closer. He closed a lot of games last year for the San Francisco Giants.
31 saves last year for the Giants, or as you like to call them, the Gigantes.
Yeah.
And 38 the year before that. So Casilla now will go to work here in the 7th. He has Iglesias to lead things off. Then Kinsler and Candelario. In there, a strike called on Iggy. 7 runs, 12 hits for the A's. 2 runs, 7 hits for the Tigers. Liam Hendricks goes 1 2/3 tonight. Here's the 0-1. Grounded foul, 1 ball, 2 strikes on the Tiger shortstop. The Tiger box looks like this tonight. Nick Castellanos, yeah, another 2-hit game for him. Now the 1-2. Ooh, good breaking ball, tipped into the glove for strike 3. 1 gone here in the 7th. That'll bring up Kinsler.
It's a hanging breaking ball there that Iglesias got a piece of, but landed right in the glove of Maxwell's. Iglesias is tough to strike out, doesn't strike out very often.
Ian had a double to drive in a run. The Tigers got their only 2 in the 5th inning on doubles by Jones and Kinsler to score runs.
Prior to the outing tonight, Casilla has seen the Tigers 15 times in his career. 18 innings, he's given up 16 hits, 11 earned runs, and an ERA of 5.40. So the Tigers haven't been all that kind to Casilla.
Hammered to left field, deep and gone, a home run. Ian Kinsler with yet another solo homer, but it draws the Tigers a little bit closer. That is the 19th of the year now for Ian.
And it just gave you the numbers on Casilla in his career against the Tigers, and they're still not kind to him. That's a 4-seam fastball that's up in the strike zone, and Ian keeps the hands up high and able to get underneath it and hit it into the Tigers bullpen. Ian had a good day yesterday. A couple of knocks, a couple of runs scored.
Here is Candelario, 7-3 ball game. Jamer looks at ball 1. He is 0 for 3 in this game. So Kinsler now with a real shot in what has been called a down season offensively to hit 20 homers. He needs just 1 more. Strike on the outer edge, 1-1 on Candelario. Second tour of duty with the Athletics for Casilla. In fact, all of his pitching in the big league has been in the Bay Area with either the Giants or the A's. Grounded toward first and scooped up there by Olsen. 2 gone. That'll bring up Miguel Cabrera. 7-3 A's. Miggy is 0 for 3. Miggy fought that one off 0-1. Athletics have left 10 men on base in this game. They have knocked into 2 double plays. Otherwise, their lead could be much larger. Here's the 0-1. Ooh, he had Cabrera bailing out of the way. A breaking ball that drops in 0-2.
Yeah, he threw that at 80 miles an hour.
Farrell, the right-hander in the Tigers pen. Jeff Farrell. Now the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Down on strikes goes Miggy. Hitting over. Kinsler gets the Tigers one back. A solo home run. Number 19 on the year for Ian. You're watching Tigers baseball tonight, presented by Bell Tire. Park, the Tigers and Athletics opening up this 3-game series, and Jeff Farrell coming out of the bullpen now for the Tigers.
11th game that Farrell has been in, logging 8 2/3 innings, the ERA over 6. 6 strikeouts for Jeff, 4 base on balls. He's got a plus changeup, fastball in the low 90s.
Here is the matchup for tomorrow. It's presented by Wallside Windows. And for the Tigers and Athletics in Game 2, looks like this. It'll be Daniel Gossett and Chad Bell hooking up. We'll be on the air at 6 with Tigers Live. First one is outside to Jed Lowry. Lowry, Davis, and then Olson here in the 8th inning for the Athletics. Tigers have kept the A's off the board for the last 3 innings after Oakland built a 7-0 lead. It's now 7-3. Lowry, double, sac fly, walk, and 3 RBIs. Actually, 2 walks. One of them came with the bases loaded. In there, a strike call, 2-1. Buck Farmer started the game for the Tigers and was lifted in the 3rd. He surrendered 5 runs tonight. Three and 1.
A couple of good fastballs thrown there by Farrell. And one at 95. That last one at 93. Lowry just has a great eye at the plate. Pitches aren't missing by a whole lot.
Pulled on the ground to second, and right there is Kinsler. One gone.
Here's our Comerica Bank game summary. Speaking of Lowry, we talked about the day he's had. Well, he drove in their first run. It was an RBI double with Simeon running on the play. He was able to score. Olsen hit another home run, his 22nd of the year. 4 games in a row he is now homered. Nicholas Castellanos continues to get it done. He extended his hitting streak to 15 games back in the 4th inning with a hustling double. Has gone on to get another single in the game, so 2 more hits for Nicholas Castellanos.
And now Chris Davis with 1 out. High fly ball into right field. Castellanos coming in, and there are 2 gone. It'll bring up Matt Olson. Hatcher, the right-hander, warming up. That is Chris Hatcher in the Oakland pen.
And Bob Melvin trying to piece this one together after Jarrell Cotton, his scheduled starting pitcher, came down with a sore growing injury at the beginning of the game. You had a lot of info on Cotton too, didn't you?
I did, man. I had like a full page of stuff on Cotton. He actually lives here locally and was from the Virgin Islands and
lives in Commerce now.
Lives in Commerce Township, yeah. So he had a whole lot of stuff we can't use. I guess we could talk about it if you want, but he's not in the game. 1 ball, 1 strike. There's the ball low. 2-1 the count.
Got a call from my good buddy today, though, Bruce Fields, and he also told me that Cotton teaches pitching lessons at All Fields Hitting, which is a hitting facility that the Fields boys own.
Nice. In
Southfield, Michigan, and Cotton teaches pitching lessons there in the off season.
2-2 the count on Matt Olson. Two-run shot for Olson back in the 3rd. That's what he does. He hits homers. He's got 11 of them now in the last 15 games.
Batting .267 with the 22 and 42, but his on-pace percentage and slugging percentage combined over 1,000.
Here's the 3-2. Ball 4 high. It'll be a 2-out walk. It'll keep it going now for Ryan Healy. Healy without a hit. He did reach out an error and score a run. That was back in the 3rd. A wide throw by Candelario allowed him to reach.
They came to see Cotton too.
Yeah, they did.
Where you live?
Strike 1 on Healy. Farrell was injured much of last year after making his major league debut in 2015. Back up in the big leagues this year. Rolled foul. Tigers have a loaded bullpen with all the call-ups. Got a 13-man bullpen.
Yes, they do. And they've needed many of those on many of the nights in the month of September.
Way outside 1-2. In fact, Brad was talking about his preference. I think most managers prefer that, you know, you play under the same rules for the first 5 months of the year, and all these September call-ups really changes the dynamic of games.
It does.
With the loaded benches and bullpens. Oh, look out. Farrell is hit by the line drive. And they're going to come out immediately and look at Jeff I believe he was hit on the head, the side of the head. And a rocket right back to the mound. Oh my goodness. And Farrell's coming out of the game immediately. Man, that is as scary as it gets right there.
I'm surprised that Farrell did not go down right off the side of the head.
Oh, fortunately, he turned his head. But you could hear a pin drop now in the stadium. So Farrell comes out of the game, and we will step aside here at Comerica Park. We'll be back. Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows. We can do that. We are the factory. Back here at Comerica Park, where Jeff Farrell was knocked out of the game on a line drive that struck him on the head. He has been taken back to the clubhouse, and Joe Jimenez is coming in now, and he will try and get ready to pitch in this ball game.
Joe will get as much time as he needs to get loose here. You see his numbers there.
'21st appearance of the year for Jimenez as he continues to warm up. Here is our big story. And for the big story, how about we go to Houston last night? And for the first time in 16 years, the Astros have clinched the West.
Justin Verlander started that game and was the winner in the clinching game for the Houston Astros. And Verlander doing a little victory lap.
He is. Last time the Astros won a division was the National League Central. It was that long.
Verlander has been tremendous in his 3 starts for Houston, his new squad. First start he made in Houston was last night.
He's only given up, what, 2 runs?
Yeah. A lot of strikeouts. He's only walked 3.
So Joe Jimenez will continue to warm up here, and well, a scary moment here at the ballpark tonight, Ron, and we hope that Jeff Farrell is okay. The good news is that he was able to walk off the field under his own power and immediately just came after being struck by the head toward the dugout, so hopefully he'll be okay.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a pitcher partner get hit in the head and not go down. He got hit in the head and immediately started walking toward the Tigers dugout before Kevin Rand, the head athletic trainer, and Brad Ausmus met him there and then wisely just took him downstairs. I'm sure that they may take him to the hospital as precaution to make sure everything's okay.
Well, in terms of this game here tonight, Buck Farmer got the start and just didn't have it early on in this game, gave up 5 runs. And I guess, again, it's to the point of when you have young pitchers and a young team, you will see some uneven appearances.
You know, I thought Buck would do better against his team here today. And the reason I say that is because they swing and miss a lot. And Buck at times has a legitimate swing and miss changeup and good breaking ball. But Buck fell behind quite a few of the Oakland Athletics today. And they had some nice plate appearances against him. And they put some balls in play. They racked up a total of 13 hits. A lot of those came against Buck early.
Meanwhile, Nick Castellanos, 2 more hits. He continues to swing the bat well. A 15-game streak now for Nick. Part of the highlights of tonight's game. And right now, the Athletics will bat here, leading 7-3 with 2 on and 2 out.
And Healy, who hit that ball, who was standing on first base, you could just tell that he was just kind of really upset after that. And I think that's common for most guys that hit balls that happen to hit pitchers in the head. That ball left his bat at 103 miles an hour, so it had some pretty good giddy up behind it.
Pinder looks at ball 1 high. RBI double tonight for Chad Pinder. Two on and 2 out. In the air toward left field, Matukas on the run, not going to get it over his head. It'll jump over the wall into the bullpen. And 1 run will score. It'll be a ground rule double.
These boys have got their hitting shoes on today.
That is the 2nd RBI double of the game for Pinder. 2-out run. That'll make it 8-3 Athletics. Now Max Chapman will step in, and that is the 14th hit for Oakland. Chapman is 0 for 3 with a walk. Strike called on the outer edge at 95 from Jimenez. Oh, 2. Last outing against the White Sox on the 16th, 1 1/3. He gave up an earned run, walked a couple of batters in that game, and allowed a homer. High fly ball left field. Matuk going back. He's going to the track. So is Jones, and Jacoby will run it down to end the inning. Another run for the Athletics. Here comes the bottom of the 8th.
day for Nicholas Castellanos. He doubled earlier in the contest, and he stretched a single into a double, actually, with a really nice slide. Almost came off the bag, but able to get back with that left hand before the tag was applied by Lowry. Then he singled again up the middle. He was on first base. He stole second base. Short, choppy steps for Nicholas Castellanos, getting down to steal this bag. Really good day for Nicholas. 15-game hitting streak, 9 of those games multi-hit games during the streak.
Let's bring in Mickey York. Mick.
Yeah, Mario, you know, he's been pretty good in right field, too, since taking over that position. And Brad Ausmus was asked after the game yesterday if he gave any thought to removing Nick for a defensive replacement in the 9th while Matthew Boyd still has no hitter intact. And he didn't like the question in any way, shape, or form. He said, first of all, it was a 12-0 game. And, you know, the game wasn't hanging in the balance at that point. And he said, and the second point was that ball Anderson hit, nobody was going to catch it. It wouldn't have mattered who was playing out there in right field. And I was able to speak with Nick, as a matter of fact, earlier this afternoon about that very thing. And he said, look, as soon as he hit it, I knew it was a hit. The first thing I started thinking was get the ball, get it back into the infield. So it wasn't the time or place, I guess, for that question. But, you know, the basis for all that, of course, is, you know, Brad wouldn't hesitate in the past to put in a defensive replacement for Nick when he's playing at third base, but generally more often than not, the game then dictated that move. It was either a close game and it warranted a defensive substitution. No matter the case, he didn't feel yesterday warranted any kind of defensive replacement for Nick Castellanos. And again, nobody was going to catch that baseball.
Well, I know this, Nick, in the final 2 weeks of this season, will have plenty of opportunities to play right field and get better and better and better going into spring training next year, and obviously more opportunities to play.
I'm sure Nick probably appreciated the fact that Brad did not take him out of the game.
Oh, no doubt. Another hit for Castellanos. A line drive, single to left. That'll be a 3-hit game.
And because in the past, Castellanos, when playing third base, it really didn't matter what the score was. If the Tigers were winning late, Brad would substitute Romine for him. So apparently Brad's not going to have that same kind of thought process, I guess, as Nick learns right field.
Meanwhile, the A's have gone back to their bullpen. They have a new pitcher that is checked in, Chris Hatcher.
And 43rd game now for Hatcher, who started the season in Los Angeles with the Dodgers. 4.10 ERA, 55 strikeouts, 19 base on balls.
He was on the Dodgers opening day roster and then was acquired from LA on August 15th. Has not allowed an earned run in his last 7 appearances. Tigers now have 9 hits. Efren Navarro, the batter, single walk fly out. Line to left field and slicing. Davis on the run. He'll get there. And Nick retreats. 1 gone. We'll bring up James McCann. Mac 0 for 3, couple of fly balls and a strikeout. The Athletics have pieced this one together with 5 pitchers so far after Terrell Cotton was late scratch, did not start. They've had to make this a bullpen day. And that has popped up. Shallow right field for Matt Joyce. And there are 2 gone. That'll bring up Matuk. Good night for Mikey, 2 singles. He's also stolen a base and scored a run. Tigers fell behind early in this one, 7-0. They tried to claw back, down by 5 now, 8-3. Want to know? Hatcher has that odd turn right before he delivers the ball to the plate.
A little deception in his delivery. See, he grabs that split-fingered fastball in his hand so that when he reaches into his glove, he doesn't reach in there violently and tip that pitch. That's a good tumbler right there. Most guys will grab it, and they'll grab the split-fingered grip right now. Nice, easy, simple delivery by Hatcher.
And there, a strike call, top of the zone. Here's the 2-1. 3-1 now on Matuk. Jacoby Jones waiting on deck. Tigers got a leadoff single from Castellanos, his 3rd hit of this game. Here's the 3-1. And he walked in, ball 4.
I want to go back to a couple of slides in this game. One was a steal of third by Jones and Matuk stealing second base. But take a look at their hands, Mario, and you at home. Jones has his hands on the ground flat, and that's why he jams that finger when he gets into the bag. Take a look at Matuk's hands, though. Matuk has got his hands up, and when he hits the bag, it's going to be with the palm of his hand and not his fingertips. So if you're Jacoby Jones and you're not going to wear that oven mitt, then what you ought to do is make sure that you take a page out of Mikey's book and keep your hands up, your fingertips up, so that when you hit the bag, it's with the palm of your hand and not your finger, so you don't jam your fingers.
That was a really good side-by-side look there at the difference. Now Jones with 2 on.
I'm not a fan of head-first sliding anyway, but if you're going to slide in your Jacoby Jones, man, you got to get those hands up, or you got to adopt that you got to call Rajay Davis and get you one of them oven mitts.
With the oven mitts, yeah.
That's why so many guys wear those mitts nowadays.
1-0 on Jones.
I'm just waiting for this young man to kind of figure it out, partner, and really start to hit some balls hard. He's hit a couple hard today.
Well, he hit with a little bit of power in the minor leagues, 9 home runs.
He homered on opening day. Then he had a 2-homer game not too long ago.
That right there has been one of his pieces of kryptonite this year.
Yeah, he saw that hanging breaking ball up top and tried to get to it.
1-2. I think Brad said it best the other day. He just needs to learn his swing and needs to learn where, you know, he is in terms of that swing. And if he can put it together, the tools really excite you. 1-2. Chased on a breaking ball low, struck him out, and the inning is over. We go to the 9th.
Call Sam update from the Call Sam studio. Tough night for the Tigers, and we've said that a lot. Tough night for Buck Farmer. We've said that more than we wanted, or that Buck Farmer wanted to hear us say, but it was the third inning, and it snowballed, and he's had those kinds of innings as he's tried to find his way at the major league level.
Well, he's having trouble with commanding the strike zone as far as I'm concerned, guys. He's also making a lot of mistakes over the heart of the plate. And you can't walk batters. It seems like every time that you walk somebody, Keith, they come around to score. Buck Farmer has to go back to the drawing board, get back to throwing some quality strikes. I believe he can make the adjustment, and he can get back to pitching a lot better here at the major league level.
All right, Buck Farmer's post-game thoughts coming up. We'll also update the condition of Jeff Farrell, who came out of tonight's game, and it was a scary sight indeed. Upstairs we go. Mario Ron, guys.
All right, guys, thank you as we go to the top of the ninth inning, and the A's will have the number 9 hitter, Bruce Maxwell, coming up. Tigers have gone back to the bullpen here in the ninth. And the left-hander is Jairo Laborte. He will come in here.
Just to give you an idea of the kind of night it's been for Oakland, this is the 5th time that Maxwell is coming to the plate, and he's the number 9 hitter.
Yeah, they've had 14 hits. They've stranded 12 men on base. That ball up in all the way to the backstop. 2-0. Maxwell, then Semien, and then Joyce. 2 out of 4 for Maxwell, both singles. He has scored a run. Here's the 2-0. Laborte throws high. 3 balls and no strikes. Jairo, one of the call-ups this year for the Tigers. Single A Lakeland, Double A Erie this year, and Triple A Toledo. Eastern League All-Star this year, and he throws ball forward, leadoff man on. Maxwell on base for the 3rd time. Top of the order now. Here is Marcus Semien. Miggy, Tyler Collins talking a little bit of hitting. Semien looks at a strike, 0-1.
Tigers pitching have walked 6 today and hit 2 batters to go along with the 14 hits that the swinging A's have tonight. Looks like they got to usher a fan out of here. That's why play was halted momentarily.
23,895 the attendance here this evening. That is a foul ball roped down the third base line.
-1.
So 23,894 now. The jail system just picked up another occupant.
Yeah. He didn't even make it to the field.
No.
He got the handcuffs on him.
It's bad when you can't even make it to the field. 1-2 on Semien. Fouled back out of play. Joyce will be next. Looks like Minnesota lost tonight, and the Twins holding on to that second wild card. That's popped up. Navarro at first base calling for it. Semien's out of there, 1 gone.
The last thing the Minnesota Twins want to do is have to go to New York to play a 1-game playoff. I mean, in the last number of years when the Twins do get to the playoffs, if they have to play the Yankees have bounced them out of the playoffs.
Well, and you also get the feeling that they might have to go up against Severino, too.
He's pretty good.
Wouldn't be a whole lot of fun. Here's Matt Joyce. The Angels came in 2 out from that final wild card, and the last week and a half is going to be awfully fun in terms of that second wild card. Trinan and Brady warming up in the bullpen for the A's.
Starting to look more and more like the Yankees are going to host that wild card game. They are 5 games in front right now of the Minnesota Twins.
Wild pitch advancing the runner.
There's the standings. Los Angeles a game and a half back as we speak.
This year, that second wild card is probably going to be maybe just a handful of games over 500. In fact, that first wild card, the Yankees as well. That'll miss low, 2-1 on Joyce. Three out of 5 tonight for Matt Joyce. Trying to drive in a run here. Bouncer back to the mound. Laporte going to third base. 2 wide throws nearly. Now Candelario will apply the tag. Two gone. Joyce aboard in the fielder's choice. Meanwhile, over in the National League wild card, you got a couple of teams in Arizona and Colorado that have pretty good records.
87 wins for the Diamondbacks and 82 for Colorado. JD Martinez has single-handedly changed the National League West by himself for the Arizona Diamondbacks. He hit his 24th home run, I believe, last night as a Diamondback and now has 40.
Is that good?
That's real good. That is really good. 24 home runs since they traded him away.
Jed Lowry, the batter. High, towering fly ball left field. Matuk is under it. That'll end the inning. No runs, a walk, 1 left. To the bottom of the 9th we go. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. All Oakland most of the night. They raced out to a 7-0 lead. They lead at 8-3. All 9 starters have reached base. 8 with hits for the Ace offense. And, well, you got to tip your cap to Nick Castellanos, Roddy. Just continues to get it done.
3 for 4 with a double, couple of singles. He also stole a bag. And 15-game hitting streak now for Nicholas Castellanos.
Got some changes coming up for the Athletics here. start on the mound where Blake Treinen will come on.
And Treinen 10 holds so far this year, pitching in the 66th game. The ERA sits at 4.33. Got a big arm, has 67 strikeouts, which is 1 strikeout per inning. He's walked 22.
Jose Iglesias will lead things off here in the 9th inning. And Iggy looks at ball 1.
Ooh, 99.
Pinder is now in right field. Smolinski in center and Joyce in left. The new outfield alignment for the A's. That's rolled foul. Again, upper 90s. That one at 98. Off his foot. They've gotten the catcher as well. Treinen comes over from the Nationals. Sean Doolittle went the other way. Ryan Matson involved in that deal as well.
Washington gave up a pretty good pitcher in Treinen.
Yeah, big arm.
But to get Doolittle and Matson, who pretty much has changed the season for Washington, though they had to give up a big arm. That breaking ball right there at 90 miles an hour.
Iglesias is 0 for 3 in the game. Treinen with the 1-2. Pulled on the ground to third. Nice backhanded play there by Chapman. And his throw is in time. What a play.
The Athletics feel like they've got their corner infielders of the future in Chapman at third and Olsen at first. And here's a nice play. Backhand, throwing off balance from fair territory and throwing accurately across the diamond with a big stretch from Olsen, the big first baseman.
It's a strong throw. Pretty impressive. One gone. Here is Kinsler. He's had a big night, 2 out of 4, including a homer.
Both Olsen and also Chapman homegrown. Both high round draft choices.
One ball, no strikes. Treinen replaces Hatcher, who threw a scoreless 8th. We'll go to the backstop. 2-0 now on Kinsler. For as good of an arm as this is here with Treinen, his ERA was 5.73 in 37 games with the Nationals. Just under 6. It's only the second time he's faced the Tigers in his career. Here's the 3-0 pitch, and he walked him on 4 straight.
Well, this much we do know. He's not pitching with the same kind of pressure in Oakland that he was pitching with for the Nationals.
Very true. That is the Nationals team that is headed to the postseason. Here's Candelario.
That Washington Nationals staff is unbelievable. Strasburg has only given up 1 earned run in his last 40 innings, and they got Gio Gonzalez, they got Max Scherzer. It's a nice 1-2-3 they have in Washington.
Nationals came into play tonight with a slim 21-game lead on their second place Miami. So they've clinched their division. It's going to be an interesting postseason, I think, in both leagues this year. Here's the 1-0. And a ball outside. 2-0 now on Candelario, and that's going to bring the third baseman Chapman in.
It's going to be some of the best players in baseball that are performing in the postseason. It's going to be the Cy Young Award winners coming out of the 2017 season, the Rookie of the Years, and Bellinger and Judge. Those guys are going to be in. The Lindors and the Correas of the world, those guys are going to be in. It's going to be a lot of really good players in the postseason this year. Altuve.
3-0. Trying and wanted that call, didn't get it.
Well, it's kind of hard to call that pitch that's borderline a strike for Trinan because he has been all over the place. He's thrown 12 pitches and he's missed the strike zone with 8 of the 12.
Ball 4, it's going to be back-to-back walks. 2 on with 1 out. That'll bring up Cabrera. It's also going to bring Scott Emerson out. Tigers really a good defensive play by Chapman away from having 3 runners on here. Of course, it looked like Iglesias might have a double. The ball was picked down the line by Chapman. Tigers in this game only 2 for 10 with men in scoring position. Here's Miguel. Hitless in this game, 0 for 4. Castellanos on deck. Mickey gearing up for some cheese here.
He's going to get it.
Right at the knees at 96. 0-1. Trinan tonight, the 6th pitcher used by the A's. They had to make this a bullpen night when Jarrell Cotton was scratched late. One ball, 1 strike. Last one at 97, but wide.
And it looked like Miggy's starting to cheat just a little bit with that front foot. He wants to open up because he respects the fastball of Trinan. It's in the mid to upper 90s, so you open up ever so slightly. You clear the hips out of the way, and that allows that bat to get into the hitting zone.
One and 2. Tigers got it going with a pair of 1-out walks, Kinsler and Candelario. Line drive caught, and a double play to end the ball game. Kinsler doubled off second base, and the Tigers lose game 1. Now we send you to the Call Sam Studios. John Keating with Tigers Live postgame.
All right, Mario, thank you. Yeah, tough night for Buck Farmer, and that continues. The trend for the Tigers starting pitching, that has to be addressed. The streak also continues for Nick Castellanos. He continues his torrid play of late. We'll update the condition of Jeff Farrell. Scary sight as he came out of the game tonight. You'll hear from Brad Ausmus when Tigers Live gets going just moments from now.